Go to edit it and delete things.
It should be coming up now. Should be loading. It's like a 30-second delay.
But then is it really live?
Or is it Memorex?
There it is.
All right.
We're not on 22.
Delete things.
There we go. All right. You are watching Session Stream Live from Shaker's Bar, downtown Cape. And we are live, as we are every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. with lively talk and interesting topics. And luckily there's guests here that know how to speak because I'm an idiot. So it's good that you're here. As we do every Thursday, we try to talk about topical events, and we try to keep this very non-political. We don't talk about politics too much on this show because there's enough of that going around for everybody. So tonight will not be any different than that. Originally, we were going to do a really cool episode on Christmas and some things like that, but I knew that Willie was coming on, and Willie has some expertise, some knowledge, and some really cool stuff. And I'm always about wanting to learn and find new things out. So Willie's here. This is Willie Lee Henderson III, right?
What's up, everybody?
There he is.
You know the name.
Zach is there and Cody's there. Cody has got every 22 episode with me, every one of them. How you doing, man?
Good.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
We love you.
Oh,
Your rosacea's acting up.
yeah, that makes sense.
Stress. All right, so as we move along with the show tonight, we're going to be going through different topics like we do. And of course, Willie, you don't kind of know our format too much, but typically what we do is like the first hour we have banter and I bring up some cool stuff to talk about. And then the last hour is our specific topic.
Okay.
So tonight, what we're going to be talking about is, I'm interested to hear about your vegan lifestyle and your healthy choices. Some people out there might be able to learn something from it, and we'll joke around about it, so it'll be fun.
Right.
And then we're going to talk about
Can't not joke, so.
Okay, well, cool. All right, awesome. We got you. And then we're talking about sex trafficking, which is something that you're very familiar with. And the reason I asked you on was you posted something on Facebook about sex trafficking and how rampant it is.
Right.
And you had done a lot of research into it, so I'm interested to talk about that because there's some crazy stats out there about how much.
It's crazier than people would know.
So we're going to go into it. So, Zach, what's your Christmas plans this year?
We're open.
We are open. You're right.
So you're working.
No, he'll be down here with us. We're going to do karaoke on Christmas down here. So, what about you, Cody?
My mom's coming to town from Bowling Green.
Okay, cool. All right. And Willie, what do you usually do?
I usually celebrate with my family, but I don't know what I'm doing. I have no plans this year. I'm so focused on everything else in my life as far as my job and my career. It's like I went and seen my family for Thanksgiving, and I got my feel for the holidays, and now it's like
that was enough.
Yeah, which I shop year round, and I get gifts for my family year round, and so I just bought my girlfriend just bought me new shoes yesterday, so it's like, we don't need Christmas to buy each other gifts, so it's not that big of a deal to me. We don't have a tree up. We didn't I put up stuff for Halloween, and I didn't put up nothing for Christmas.
Yeah, we didn't. As you notice, we don't either.
Yeah.
But they say that Christmas was created by capitalists.
Most holidays were.
Yeah, it's to maximize the shopping, I guess.
Typically,
absolutely.
I actually celebrate Jewish Christmas, man. I eat some Chinese food. I go catch a movie. It's kosher. Shut up.
Oh my
Kwanzaa.
God! Happy Kwanzaa. When is Kwanzaa? Is Kwanzaa before or after Christmas?
After.
It's after. Okay. So when is it? Do you know the dates?
It's
Cody, you want to get your phone? Look that up for me. I want to know when Kwanzaa is. We want to give credence to Kwanzaa. Somebody celebrates it.
I seen a South Park episode one time where one of the main characters was just raging at the fact that everyone was switching from saying Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays because people celebrate different things, not just Christmas. So they were trying to, it's like how the world's trying to be less offensive and more, politically correct. So they're just saying Happy Holidays. So every time someone says Merry Christmas to me, I say Happy Holidays, and it's like just this inside joke. And they don't even know it. I'm just laughing about it.
So let me ask you, because you're new to the show and I don't know a lot about where you at as far as stuff. So it starts December 26th and goes to January 1st. How come
I told you
the
it was
Jewish
right after
Kwanzaa And every other Ramadan's a month, for God's sake. We get 1 day.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just
We
joking.
start celebrating Christmas like the day after Halloween. Bullshit.
Well, because it's supposed to be about the day of
don't
Christ
celebrate.
being born.
There you
Most
go.
of them do.
There you
It's
go.
just 1 day.
That was in September.
You're talking
though.
about shopping.
No, dude, the Christmas season starts like the day after Halloween. For
You ever
real.
notice why do they call it Black Friday? That's such an ominous.
Well, it's called Black
description.
Friday because it gets the books out of the red. That was the original
It's
title.
called
yeah?
Black Friday because back in the day of slavery, it was one of the days where slaves were sold for much cheaper, kind of like a sale for slaves. So
Really?
That's why it's called Black Friday.
Seriously?
That's not at all.
Yes.
So Black Friday was
Wait, it
because
depends on which
I,
history.
look, I seen a Facebook post about this. I know I'm correct.
Oh, it's a Facebook
Oh,
post?
I mean, this is on
It's got to
Facebook.
be correct, you know. It was.
I like
mean,
it.
come on, man. It
I
was.
like
it
that.
looked pretty legit.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's internet information.
Yeah, the internet says I'm a French model.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not? Come on, Cody, we're out of here.
But
we thought
Black,
we were working with French
Black
models.
Friday is actually supposed to be the day of the year where stores actually break even, and now everything from then on out is all profit.
Got it.
Get out of the red.
So yeah.
Okay, all right.
Profit
I thought it
time.
was some ominous description of
Hi, Carrie.
shopping. Carrie! What's up, Carrie?
Oh, by the way,
if you want to run your phone, this is what you say, is run your phone and you can do comments.
Ah, okay.
If you log in, you can see people making comments, and then they can let you know if they're watching and any of your friends.
See, I thought about that, but I'm so used to just filming it and not going live and
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to focus on the conversation.
Carrie has
but-
entirely abandoned us, by the way. They are not moving down here.
What? We need to get her picture and blow it up here and put an X through it.
Yep.
Why are they not moving? Because the boyfriend?
The boyfriend got a job up in the St. Louis area.
Oh, how dare him want to make more money?
That's what I
Because
said.
that's what it was. It's about making more money. Carrie, you can't just make a trip down here like one show? Come on.
Hashtag Carrie needs to be on Shakers.
Hashtag Carrie needs to be on Shakers. So, and kind of what's great about talking about Black Friday and stuff like that is I like learning stuff like you were talking about, learning about what things are and where they come from, so I'm not misinformed.
Your wife.
My wife's watching.
Nice coordinating outfits tonight. We're matching.
Oh yeah, we and
I
you
didn't get the
guys,
memo.
look at you guys.
I didn't get the memo. Sorry.
My wife will watch for like 15 minutes and get bored and then turn it off. So we do want to mention, speaking of ladies, we want to make sure we get ladies on the show. We need the female perspective because they offer a certain unique perspective on things. They have a lot of intricate intelligence that men sometimes just don't have. I mean, we're designed differently. So as you know, by having your lady, they have a different mind process on everything.
100%.
And it's helpful to have when you have a bunch of guys sitting around BSing about just everyday stuff. It's good to have a female perspective. So I don't know if we're scaring them off. I mean, we got Cody here, the eye candy. Now we got
That's all
Willie,
the
more eye
efficiency he
candy.
needs.
Look at all the
Come on,
eye
man.
candy we
I
got
mean-
all around me. Of course, I should have thought about that because now I look. My wife's going to realize I'm really ugly now because I got these two sitting next to me. So,
You look good in your own special way.
in my own way,
Your own special way.
that sounds
That's the
sad.
nicest way I've ever seen somebody call you ugly, Eric.
I know. The nicest way anybody's ever called me ugly. That's a great way. He called me ugly, but he was so polite about it. All right, so we do want ladies to come on the show. So if you are a female gender, please contact us. I don't know. We don't want to scare you off, so we'd love to talk about something that you want to talk about. So it's a lot better. But
We'll just
for
sit
you,
here and stare at you.
yeah.
Make them jiggle.
Yes, Zach, you're the guy. All right, so if you'll notice, we have a new guest on tonight. If you've watched every week, and you'll see these two guys with me quite a bit. Willie's on because he's a specific perspective on one of our topics, or two of our topics tonight, and we're going to get to those here in just a little bit. But we want to bring up a couple of subjects to kind of hash out. I thought this was kind of interesting, and if I talked about this last week, please stop me because I can't remember if I talked about this last week. I don't have Jay here to
Did you
remind
remember
me.
your AARP card, though?
Huh?
That would be a no.
No, I'm starting to get that in the mail though, for real. Like as soon as you turn 49, they start sending you stuff.
You get the AARP card and a sample
Yeah.
pack of Depends.
My wife.
Oh my
No.
goodness.
My wife laughs at me about
Or,
that all the time.
What do you call it? Viagra. Complimentary Viagra, too.
Complimentary vibe.
Hey, I'm saying, man. I'm saying. All right, so an artist created body art. Did I do this one? Okay, good. All right. So I found this fascinating, man. I was looking through some stuff online, and it has to be true, right? If it's online.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, all right. So it didn't let me down. But anyway, no. This is actually a really cool story. So there's an affliction. It's a disease, I guess, really, that women are faced with called endometriosis. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Yes.
I don't know how it makes you feel.
So it's the inflammation of your endometrium, which is the lining of your uterus.
It's the fallopian tubes in the uterus, right? So I know my wife had some issue with it. And I know that I know a lady that I knew back in the day. She used to talk about it. But the reason I'm bringing this up is it's hard to describe pain to people if they don't know what it feels like. So if you're stuck with some kind of ailment or some type of affliction that affects you all the time, how do you explain to people, oh, this hurts right here? So what she did was she wanted to show everyone what it feels like to have endometriosis, and I think it's admirable. And so she basically created body art. She actually drew it on her own abdomen of what she feels like, and it's basically burnt, singed is the best way to describe it. Bloody, tubes and the inside of her. And the reason I want to bring this up is Zach, you're we've talked about your Zach. I'll let you know. Zach has a terminal illness. He's actually facing what's the name of it?
That's a glioblastoma.
So he's got a huge mass in his head. So he's actually currently dealing with that. So we don't talk about it in a funny way, but we do reference it because it kind of gives us a point of view on stuff. It kind of keeps us grounded. But anyway, if Zach could show people what it felt like to be him and actually draw a picture or paint it, this is what she did. She drew it on herself. And I think we talk about mental health on the show quite a bit, and it's hard to describe when you're depressed, when you have anxiety, when you feel the stuff that people feel, how you're supposed to display that and show it to people. And I think it's admirable that she did it. So what's something that you would draw on yourself to show something about inside pain that nobody knows about, or that people know about but you have trouble kind of explaining? Could be with your mind, it could be with your heart, it could be anything. And I do this because I think it shows a human side of people, and it also shows the fact that we need to understand that people are coming from different perspectives, and we need to understand where people come from. So what would you think? It could be an injury from a fight you had, or, by the way, I want to make sure that we understand that. Willie's actually a professional fighter. He's actually
not professional yet. Still
well,
you're
amateur. Close though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could go pro tomorrow if I wanted to, but definitely taking my time. It'll be a couple more years before I feel that I'm ready to face the top, the top level guys across the world, and I won't go pro until I feel like that I'm on that level, not just ready to fight the C-level professionals. So yeah, close. So
you fought. I've seen you fight MMA. You've boxed and you've done kickboxing.
Just kickboxing.
You kickboxing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can talk about something that you experienced as a result of an injury in the ring, or you can talk about whatever you want. It's up to you. But I thought if you could paint something on yourself or draw a picture of something, what would you draw about yourself that maybe you'd want people to understand about something that you deal with?
I would probably draw, maybe tattoo or draw maybe the muscles twisted or being squeezed in some type of way, because training every day, I don't know about everyone else, and I don't see how anyone else wouldn't feel this way when they train the way I do every day, but it feels like your muscles are just being squeezed from the inside out, sore, and it's like, this kind of sounds contradicting, but when someone does squeeze them, when I'm getting a massage, it like relieves all the tension. It feels so good. That's why, I try to get massages every single day for my girlfriend, and if not, I go to a masseuse, because my muscles, man, they just feel so tight. And I would probably I would definitely get like some tattoos of rocks on my back, because it literally feels like the muscles on my back are knotted up, and if you were to rub, you can feel like it feels like there's like marbles in my back. Okay. Because my muscles are just so tight. So that's probably something I would get done on myself.
That's a good pay. I mean, you painted a good picture of it. What about you, Zach?
I would just get the drama theater mask.
Oh yeah.
No,
that's good.
The laughing, crying faces or whatever.
That's good for him. Yeah, that's real good. I would say that's good about how you feel. Yeah. Kind of an overall all-encompassing.
It really does. Yeah. Like, I think that's really hits the.
I think that's a good description of how art imitates life and vice versa. Yeah. The drama masks.
A lot of people have that tattoo, actually.
Yeah. And they have it because of that.
Exactly.
So, yeah. What about you, Cody? What do you think?
I would probably get something to describe what it's like to have super scattered thoughts, like ADHD kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to
So
deal
just
with.
a whole bunch of
Dude,
just
yeah,
like
just like think about like never be able it's like trying to hold your thoughts in a bucket that has like a colander. You know what I mean? Like you can hold on to a few, and you can get like the whole of it stays. Like if I'm thinking about something, the whole topic stays there. But like my brain like scatters it into so many different things to try to think about it once that it's impossible to keep them like all together once.
Well, I used to picture that because I have that occasionally when I deal with depression and stuff. But I picture it like blocks and circles and triangles and a bunch of shapes just banging together in my head. Just infinite space, blackness, and there's all these shapes banging around, and you want to get them to calm down and stop because that's how you can start to think. So that's kind of what I would do, I guess, for that. And then, of course, I would talk about my depression into a big wet wool blanket, so I would draw a blanket around me, yeah. So the reason I want to do that is because during the holidays, man, it's a stressful time for a lot of people, man. We're short on finances, we're long on stress, and so it's a good way for us to kind of be able to describe it to people. If you can paint a picture for somebody and you can describe, hey, look, I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling right now, and I'm just going to put it into words like this and paint a picture. Sometimes I think it's more impactful, and that's what I think is important to do. So, don't hesitate if you're with a loved one or somebody to tell them kind of how you feel. I do want to talk about movies before we get into our topics, and I want to talk about holiday movies because I think we've all had our experience with those. We're going to talk about our favorite ones and ones that kind of fell by the wayside. But what do you think? What makes a great holiday movie, Willie? What do you think?
Love.
Yeah? So you're big on the sentimental side of the family and the closeness and what the holidays are supposed to do, which is bring everyone together and kind of relive the year and kind of retouch with everybody.
100%.
Okay.
And as a man, I feel like maybe not all men. No one's the same, but men, it's really hard for us to get to really hold on to the emotions and like really get into touch with those because we're not very emotional. So I've been really focusing on trying to feel more of the feelings I should feel, not anger and frustration, but love, because like my fiance has been telling me for the last year, she's always talking about the love of things, love for this, love for that, and you hear it everywhere you go. People are talking about love because love is literally what's most important on this earth. And some people never get that, and I'm just now starting to get that. And even as a fighter, I've realized that I'm doing it because I love it. So if ever I find myself angry, like I could be angry at my girlfriend, I'm gonna take a step back and think, hold on, I love this thing, so why would I allow myself to feel any other way about it? So that's why, if you see me in the cage and I lose a fight, I guarantee you the next day I'll still be in the dojo just loving what it is that I'm doing because that's what it's all about. So, yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's great. Love is a good one. What about you?
I'm going to say love will tear us apart, so I'm going to opt out of that and go with Bruce Willis makes a great holiday movie.
Die Hard. Yippee-ki-yay,
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, so yours is chaos then. Yours is like the chaos of Christmas, and we talked about Black Friday a little bit.
It's not Christmas in my household unless there's a fist fight. I mean, that's...
Well, and that's true, because I remember growing up as a kid, my Christmases, I had the poorhouse Christmas because I was broke. My family was broke. I mean, real broke. So we barely got it. If we got anything at all, we got barely anything. And then went to my grandma and grandpa's house, and they were well off and did well. So we had a great Christmas over there. But every year, and I think it was after a few glasses of bourbon and other things, but they would have fights. And so I remember Christmases later in the day where everybody was stressed and tired, and everybody just got on each other. Like you said, we didn't have fist fights, but we had all kinds of
it's like the song
verbal
of the season,
sparring.
the season upon us by Dropkick. I mean, that's...
Okay, gotcha. Cody.
I like the Christmas movies that make light of the seriousness of Christmas, like National Lampoon's, Daddy's Home, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I just like
those are good.
Take something that's serious and it kind of makes it silly, and then that's pretty much my personality. So
that is. That's a good description. But yeah, so as you guys are coming up to holidays Christmas next week, coming up to holidays next week, you guys remember the holidays mean something different to everybody. It's not just about Christmas trees and angels and Santa Claus and shopping. It's deeper. It's love. It's it's making fun of things.
He tried. He's like,
yeah, I couldn't. I went. Literally, my hand went, and that
was funny. That was good.
I didn't want to ruin the good little vibe we had going.
There's Bruce Willis. There's.
So I didn't think you guys had noticed that.
But that is what it's about, though. It's about whatever you got to focus on what you want it to be, not what you think it's supposed to be. And people get caught up in that crap, and then it can just ruin everything for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing is make your Christmas your own.
We just watched it.
Find your reason for enjoying the season. Hey, I just came up with a new shopping term. Find your reason to enjoy the season.
It's all right. Walmart will take it for next year.
Damn it!
Let me.
You could have put it at. All right, so as we're moving on,
about giving too, like take a step back and realize that you have a lot more than you think you do, and some people have nothing.
Yes.
Like, dude, I went out. We had a little thing at work where we adopted a couple families, and they wrote down a bunch of stuff they wanted for Christmas, and we got to initial. Dude, I went to Walmart and spent like $100 on shit for people, like, and it made me feel so fucking good inside.
Well, I think and it's true because I think that's a very good point. Is this is the time of year when. You know, we come out of Thanksgiving where it's supposed to be we're thankful, but we come out of Thanksgiving into the holidays where it's all about learning to appreciate the things you have, and then you automatically should notice what somebody else doesn't have. And like you said, you get together at work and you figure out. And I notice a lot of things on Facebook now where people are actually reaching out, going, "Hey, we're going to adopt a family," and basically what you're doing is the family doesn't even know really that you're going to help, but you're going to get, they have kids and you line it up and you go buy them clothes and toys and try to give them a decent Christmas because maybe it's that one Christmas that gets them through that gives them hope for the next year. And so I think that's
Toys for Tots and Slapawoods and all these things are so important because it gives people who are struggling so hard to make ends meet and can't afford to give their kids Christmas gifts. It gives them something they're fucking. I'm getting emotional. Sorry. It gives them something for their fucking kids to wake up to in the morning. That's huge, dude.
It really is important, and I will encourage anybody out there, if you know someone, either you go to church, in your work, friends, whatever, and they're going through a hard time, this is the season where you can kind of step up and be kind of that bastion of hope. You don't even have to identify yourself. I mean, do it anonymously. If you don't want to have accolades, I don't really like attention when I help somebody. I don't really want them going, "You're the best." I just want them to enjoy what they're getting.
Right. Yeah, these people will never meet me. They'll never know I did this for them.
And that's the best way. And so use this season, man. Usually this first one we're silly and we're goofy, but it really is important during this time of the year is to appreciate what you have. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate people that want to be around me because God knows it's not easy. So I appreciate my wife and my kids for letting me stay in the house and all that good stuff. And Bruce Willis, I appreciate Bruce Willis.
I want to touch on one more thing too about the Christmas thing.
You have matching hair.
If you if you are well enough to give your kids a good Christmas, do not make your most expensive gifts say that they're from Santa. Because whenever the kids go to school and talk about the PS4s they got from Santa and all this stuff, and these kids got socks and little smaller toys, it makes them feel like Santa didn't care about them, and that's shitty.
Well, it's true.
So give them the simple things from Santa, and the big purchases say they're from you, and it's a huge thing for kids.
It's very true, and that I know as a parent, you kind of use Santa as a crutch.
Right.
You really do. If something goes bad, you're like, well, Santa.
Santa didn't come, he didn't pull through.
Well, this year, we actually told our daughters there's no Santa Claus.
How old are
they're
they?
10.
10?
Yeah, that's that time when they're at school and everybody's making fun of them.
They didn't already know?
Well, I have twin daughters. So one of my daughters kind of knew. She kind of was like on the fence, like, come on, this guy driving around giving everybody present.
We don't even have a chimney.
Yeah, exactly. And she'd been hearing stuff at school. And then now my other one, Emma, is more innocent and she's kind of the creative kind of person. She kind of lives in her own little world. She was still believing in it. Like I probably could have kept her believing in it until 16.
Right.
Because she's one of those kind of kids.
Right.
Sweet and innocent. Well, Lily kept telling her, I don't know if Santa Claus, they're having discussions as twins. So finally my wife's like, I think it's time. I think we need to. And being a dad, I'm trying to keep them innocent as long as possible. You want them to retain their innocence as long, because the world's going to grab them. So you want to keep them innocent. So we finally had the talk, and we took them in separately into the room, and we put
destroyed
them in
them.
Yeah. Yeah, Lily cried. Lily, the one. Aww. Well, but she's the one that was doubting to begin with. So I think once we confirmed her doubt, she was like, "Oh, I'm crushed." Yeah. But then she goes, "Oh, so you're the one that gets us presents." So then she realizes, "Oh, now I'm coming to you for everything." So now we can't use Santa Claus anymore. Well, ask Santa for the big stuff. Then if you don't get it and you get socks, like Santa sucks. So we used to do that. We used to pick 1 or 2 presents. And we didn't ever make them the really big ones, but we didn't really think about it too much. But we picked 1 or 2 presents from Santa, one really cool one, and then one not so cool, and then the rest was from us. But this year they know, so it also takes a little pressure off. Right. Now they know Elf on a Shelf is not some freaky little elf moving around. They know that we do it. Right. But now my wife and I'll move it, and I literally don't remember moving it because we've done it so long. And I'll say, "Did you move that?" She'll go, "No, I didn't move it." And so now it's like this, which one of us did it kind of thing. So my daughter's like, "Did you move?" Because now we're putting her in all weird places. Like my wife did something hilarious. She took a jar, mason jar, and stuffed the elf in the jar, and then put a little sign that said, "Somebody farted in the jar, be careful." So the girls wouldn't try to reach in and get it. Anyway.
Yeah, my son, he's 9, and he's known for years that Santa Claus isn't real.
How many years?
I don't know, maybe like 3 years or so. Mm-hmm. He's known. I mean, I tell him the truth. I don't want to, why would I lie to my son about something? So, I just feel like it's, I don't know.
No, it is. Each household has to, come up with their own, what they think is best for each household.
And this is probably this is my most financially successful year that I've had my whole life. Mm-hmm. I'm finally in a nice house and, have the thing, I can afford my bills, no problem, and, can buy extra things and stuff. And surprisingly, I'm not getting my son anything for Christmas this year, because I want to show him that it's not, I'm trying to teach my son that you don't have to always do what everyone else does. And I tell my son, if you do what everyone else does, what your friends do, you're going to end up doing the bad things along with them, and I'm trying to, now also, he's a great student, don't get me wrong, he listens very well, but he had a couple bad days at school, and, he was kind of starting to get lippy with his mother, and, I just told him, I'm like, you know what, until you start to really impress me, I'm not going to be, spoiling you. There are kids that, all that stuff you have in your room, you have toys you don't even play with, why would I buy you more stuff? Right. And he's starting to really grasp, the principles of life that you need to, don't be privileged and don't expect these things that, other people will never even have. Mm-hmm. And, every time kids come over now, he wants to give away his toys to them, and he's really starting to want to give more. And so I'm just trying to show him, it's...
You're a good dad then, man. You're teaching them.
It's not a big deal, and I used to be so I would have a fist squeezing my chest if I couldn't get my son the best toys for his birthday, the best toys for Christmas, and all this stuff. I'm like, my son has shelter, he has nice toys, he has nice clothes, he has food. Why would why am I letting these people make me think I'm supposed to give my son all these things that literally do not matter? Mm-hmm. Those toys do not matter. That's right. How much time do you spend with your kids? How much do you teach them? Buy them a freaking book before you buy them some toys. Can you, are you the one that taught your kid how to read? Did you teach them math? Did you teach them science? People are just so caught up in the things that do not matter. And, I'm sick of being a part of that. So, that's why I'm not about to buy all these presents because I really don't care. I don't care. If I want to buy something, if I'm at the store, I'm like, ooh, I want to buy that for my son. I'll buy it and give it to him. But I'm not going to buy all these things and wrap them up and, make up this Santa Claus person because everyone else is doing it and I don't even really understand why. And they say it's about, Jesus Christ and, I'm not a person that follows, that's praying to Jesus Christ every day, So it's just it's not me. It's not my family tradition. It's something that someone's trying to hand to me. So it's not. That's
a good point.
I don't even care. If I work on Christmas, I do not care.
Yeah, that's the thing is Christmas is an individual thing and it's in your family. That's what it means
to you.
Yeah, right. It really is. That's what it means to you. And I think you got a good point because, Santa Claus was made up by department stores. Right. I'm just being real. Right. Sorry if there's anybody watching, but Santa Claus is not a real thing. He was made up by. I'm sorry, Zach. I see you looking at me. Look, he's like
one eyebrow up.
Yeah,
I don't believe
you. That's you're gonna say Krampus doesn't exist either?
No, he's real.
Okay,
he's real. But
have you watched it? I haven't watched that movie.
Krampus?
Yeah. Is it?
Well, good? No. Here's the thing about Krampus. Krampus has actually got more historic relevance and fact than Santa Claus does.
I don't know what it is. I just seen the little glow with the creepy hand.
Yeah. So Krampus was a story that was told years and years ago, but it was about this spirit that if kids were misbehaving or bad, Krampus would come. And
I should show my son this.
Like he had cloven
He'll love
hooves,
it.
and
Yeah,
he would come and take your child.
Yeah.
For being a naughty child.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show my son this. He's gonna
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, it's pretty dead. But the point is you've got a good and a bad, right? Department stores and commerce has given us Santa Claus. It's given us the Easter Bunny. It's given us, Tom the Turkey. It's given us all this stuff on holidays to increase our shopping. That's basically what it does. Now,
At least the Tooth Fairy still exists.
Yeah, at least that's real. We know that's
right.
That's the Rock.
But you know what? I feel like Santa Claus and Christmas is actually a great thing for kids if you have them grasp the concept. If you're a good person, good things come to you. Not, it's Christmas, you get presents. That's not how it works. That's why they have the naughty list and the elf, because you want the kids to understand that when you are good, you get rewarded.
Right.
And like I said, my son had messed up, a few times. He was back talking his teacher and his mother, and then he started to kind of, like one day in the grocery store, he didn't want to push the cart. I'm like, oh, you don't want to push the cart? Guess what? Christmas is gone. It's over with.
Yeah.
And he's getting
I'm
presents
not
at
a
his
fan of
mom's
Elf
house.
on the
but
Shelf. I prefer a Minch on a bench.
Bench on a bench? What's that?
You'll get a whole wide range of education with this guy over here. Minch on a bench is it's a Jewish thing.
Okay.
So it's an old Jewish lady sitting on a park bench, basically.
No.
That's the way
That's your bubby.
I'm trying
That's
to say
your
it
bubby.
nicely.
That's
All
your
right,
boobala.
Go ahead and say what it is.
A Minch is actually almost like a rabbi. Mm-hmm. So a Minch on a bench, Elf on a shelf.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense. Okay.
So speaking of this season, so I'm going to talk about something real quick, and it kind of goes back into history a little bit. Paul Harvey and Andy Rooney. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who they are, but Paul Harvey used to be on the radio. He's passed away now.
The rest of
the rest of the story. So he gave commentary on the radio.
I miss
and
Andy
he gave.
Rooney.
Yeah, I do too. He gave real common sense approach to stuff, kind of looking at things from a real perspective. And he was on 60 Minutes, so they'd have all the news articles on, and then he'd be at the end of the show and he'd give. Well, no, that was Andy Rooney.
Rooney.
So Rooney was on 60 Minutes, and Rooney would give commentary on stuff that was going on in the world. So, for example, you got the impeachment going on. That he would give a real feedback onto that.
Right.
So the reason I brought this up is they both had basically an editorial that one of them started, and the other one, Andy Rooney, continued it. But it was about prayer, and it was about who you pray to, and it's basically saying, why does it matter who I pray to you? In other words, if I want to pray to Jesus, I'm going to pray to Jesus. If you want to pray to Buddha, you pray to Buddha. The point is what does it matter to you if 30 seconds of my day is taken out to pray to someone?
Right.
The reason that people have a problem with Christmas is because Christmas is a Christian holiday, and if you're not a Christian, you feel left out.
Right.
Jewish people don't celebrate Christmas; they have Hanukkah, and some celebrate Kwanzaa, some celebrate Ramadan. There's different celebrations.
Right.
The whole point of this is, and what I want to keep clear, in as we're on this show, and we try to be open about stuff, but I don't care who you pray to, but you're not going to get to tell me I can't pray.
Absolutely.
So what I mean by that is everything has to be fair. If you want me to accept whoever you're going to pray to, which I'm fine with that, then when I pray to Jesus or whatever I'm doing, then that has to be acceptable too. And so what I'm asking everyone to do is, especially now this time of the year, is to understand just because you're not a Christian doesn't mean that people can't celebrate Christmas and they can't pray to God. Everybody has to have a right in their own position to pray, and it's what you want for yourself. I have conversation with Jesus and God all the time during my normal day. Some call it prayer, some call it just conversation. Some people say you're crazy, but regardless, everybody should have a right to pray to and to worship and to do however they want to do it.
Yes.
And I will say this as a Christian, and I will send this appeal out to Christians everywhere. If you are a Christian and you want to be truthful to the faith, then you should accept everyone, and you should embrace everyone, and you should encourage everyone to know about the love of Jesus, as opposed to you're not following the doctrine, so you're shunned. And that's the problem I have with a lot of churches. They have doctrine, and if you're not meeting this doctrine, I mean, we talk about religion as a political thing, and it's because it's been made that way, but faith is a personal venture. It's a personal thing. So if whatever faith that you follow, pray to whoever you want. Don't pray if you don't want.
None of this is lighthearted.
Oh, I know. It's a pretty serious episode, really, because we're going to be talking about child. I felt uncomfortable joking too much before sex trafficking. I'm sorry.
I don't.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to talk about too, which, you know, we can save it for later, but I was going to talk about how disgusted I am with all the comedians joking about, you know, kids getting you know, sexually molested and things like that.
So I just want to let you know.
Just a fair warning, I am a stand-up comedian.
So he's very plain spoken. So he may say something to piss you off. Just keep that in mind.
I mean, you know, you're not gonna make me mad. I'll just, you know, I'll just think, you know, you do what you do, but you know.
Well, and here's the thing.
His own.
I was molested at a young age. I've talked about it on the show before, so I'm with you on that, you know. But I also understand that sometimes it helps with humor to kind of, it helps people deal with stress and bad, you know what I'm saying? So some comedians do it because they're just dumb, and some comedians do it because they actually understand that if we talk about something and we make it present in everyday life, then we can start dealing with it.
But to make it funny, for people to laugh at it, no.
Well, and everybody,
no.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody has their into things, and that's how you feel.
Behind every gesture is a waterfall of tears and a frown behind every smile. Just because someone makes a joke on something doesn't mean they don't comprehend what's actually happening. Maybe that happened to them, and that's the only way they could rationalize in their brain that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, because my molestation, a pedophile took advantage of me, and I make jokes about it because I dealt with it and I talked about it. Now I agree with you to a certain extent that there's some people, it's life changing and devastating and destroys stuff, and I agree with that. But I will say that I think if somebody's saying something you don't like, you just tune it out. And that's kind of how I am about a lot of things. Free speech. You should be able to say whatever you need to say, knowing that someone's going to be affected by it, but say what you need to say because sometimes it's their therapy. Like Robin Williams,
right?
He used that to make himself survive, and he gave the world some really good life. So, but I just wanted to talk about that a little bit during this season because there's going to be, every year it comes up about, you know, Christ and Christmas and all this. And my whole thing about that, Christmas is if you look at it from a faith perspective, it's supposed to be for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a Christian. Christmas is about the spirit of love and giving in life. Okay? Now, yes, Christ is in Christmas, and yes, it was established because of the birth of Christ. But I think Christ's purpose for everyone is for us to love each other more. That's it. I mean, if you look at the Bible, that's what it is. So he went to the people that didn't want to have anything to do with him, and he talked to them. So I say find your own, whatever it is that connects you with your spirituality, whatever it is, and stay connected to it. That's all I'm going to say about that. So I want to talk about one more kind of, this is a little bit less, and this one you'll enjoy quite a bit. I watch a lot of YouTube at night and kind of catch up on videos and stuff, and I want to talk about why it is that we love to see loudmouths and bullies getting dealt with so much. And I'm going to say my little write-up, and then we're going to throw it around to you guys. But I think as a society, we hate bullies, but at the same time, we love the drama they cause. And it's a weird dichotomy. It's that train wreck mentality where, when you see a train wreck, you're like, I should not be looking at this. This is terrible. But at the same time, there's a kind of a instinctual part of us that wants to see that stuff. And so it's a really weird balance. So we're going to talk about that for a minute. I think it's the drama because the conclusion is so sweet. So for MMA and fighters, we just had this with Colby Covington. He talked so much, and then got handed. His
jaw broke.
He got dealt with.
His jaw was fractured.
Usman actually, you could tell Usman was not trying to finish him. He was just trying to beat him up. You could just tell. He was just beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And he stood toe to toe with him, and he took him out. So I want to talk about that for a minute because we've all dealt with bullies in our lives. You know Nathan Stearns pretty well. Nathan's big on the anti-bullying thing, and one of the reasons he learned to fight was because he was bullied. And so I want to talk about that for a minute. I have a really distinct pleasure in watching bullies get whooped, just from personal experience with that, and then learning to fight myself and defending people and stuff. So speaking of, when you talk about Christmas and bullies, A Christmas Story, which is a fantastic movie, there's a scene where a bully gets dealt with and he goes nuts and he yells a bunch of cuss words and stuff. Have you ever seen the movie Christmas Story?
Does he like cover with a bottle of piss or something?
I don't think so.
So it's the one with the kid where they gets his tongue stuck to the pole.
Yes, I've seen it, but I was young, can't remember.
Yeah. So it's basically a story about a family, and it's a comedy. It's a sweet, it's endearing and sweet and fun. But anyway, you got the typical dad who's grumpy, and dogs ate his whole damn turkey. Anyway, we quote a lot of movies in here between ourselves, but
Who doesn't?
yeah. So in fact, I'm going to show that. He's talking about movies. So you know what movie that's from?
Oh, Step Brothers, Boats and Hoes. That is the best comedy ever. Like,
Zach comes in and brings
worldwide,
me this
worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide, Boats and Hoes. It's fantastic. It's a bottle opener. And but anyway, going back to the Christmas story, there's a bully gets dealt with on there because the little boy gets fed up with what's going on. So can you tell about any time in your life? I would be afraid for whoever bullied you, but talk about a bully in your life. I'm gonna start with Cody, that you ended up having to deal with.
I'm very hard to bully because either
Really?
one, I have zero.
You are pretty lovable.
I'm very confident. Like if somebody starts to bully me, like they find something to bully me about and see if I actually give a fuck about it. And two, I don't give a shit about my hair.
No, wait, stop. That's true. That's one thing about you I'll notice, and I think that's a good technique we could teach to kids, is you just don't let things
don't let it bother you.
Yeah. And
also, if somebody tries to bully me, I'm witty as fuck. I'll probably just make you look like an idiot anyway. Like,
okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't deal with bullies.
The thing about that is, if it doesn't bother you, you're not being bullied, and it doesn't matter. It's
okay,
only,
but it's letting somebody know that it's bothering you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, this is the thing. People will hate when they want to do something about it, but they're scared to. That is when you're being bullied.
Okay.
When you really want to do something, you want to stop them or something, but you're scared to say anything or to do anything because you fear that you're going to be physically hurt, or maybe they roast you even further or something.
So in your words, you think someone has to feel fear to be bullied?
No. I think that, like for me, if someone's saying something to me and it doesn't bother me, they're trying to bully me, it's not working. But if I want to smack them across the head or I want to say something back, but I'm scared to because I'm scared of what that person might do, then that's when it starts to mess with my ego and my self-esteem. And when I was younger, I was always worried about confrontation. When I was a teenager, I didn't want to go to parties and things because it's not like I was getting bullied all the time, but I didn't want to get into a fight. I'm smart, you know what I'm saying? Even to this day, like I can watch someone fight and I pretty much, mathematically, physically can determine if I can beat them or if maybe if I can't. Of course a fight is always a toss-up, but I'm a very, intellectual person. I figure things out mathematically, physically, not just go off my emotions and how I feel. So I always knew that physically I didn't understand the mechanics of fighting, so I never wanted to get into a fight. And I understood that you can get knocked out, you can get bones broken, you can get hurt. So I was always like cautious, going places like scared. And if someone wanted to say something, like someone wanted to fight me, like I was just scared, I wouldn't say nothing. And so that was one of the reasons I wanted to learn how to fight. And ever since I learned martial arts, now I'm just confident. And if someone says something to me, I can let it go more easily, as to where it used to drive me nuts. Like, okay, so just yesterday, someone at the dojo, so I left the dojo, went, took a shower, came back, I left my jug of water. And it's alkaline water, it's like $4 a freaking gallon, so I wasn't gonna leave it there. I go back to get it. As I get the water, someone says hi to me, and I'm like, and I waved at them, and I'm walking out. I'm in a hurry for one, and I'm not trying to interrupt their class. And they was like, dang, you're not even gonna say hi? And I turned around, looked at them, and I waved, and then I turned around, and they was like, well, F you. Can we curse on here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're like, well, fuck you too then.
Whoa.
And I'm like, and
you can cuss on here, it's fine.
And I'm like, I wanted to turn around and just run at dude and just hit him with a fucking flying sidekick. But, I'm like, it's whatever.
Specifically, a flying sidekick.
30 minutes.
I could just run and just fly in the air and just kick you in the head.
He's twice my size, you know what I'm saying? So I got to hit him with something that's,
effective,
so I'm like, so for the next hour to 2 hours, I'm thinking like, I was gonna I drove to Jackson. I was still thinking about driving back there because you know what I'm saying. He just like fuck me for what? Because I didn't like give you all my attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I know he's just trying to start something with me. And if I know this guy, I guarantee you, if I was his size, he wouldn't be saying this shit. I feel like, and I hate when I feel like someone's trying to say something to me because they're bigger than me. I can't stand that shit because I don't care how big you are. You know what I'm saying? I'll gouge your fucking eyes out and I'll kick you in the balls and chop your fucking throat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get dangerous. I'm not going to just fight you. If I have to, I'm going to try to hurt you. I mean, we know the difference between fighting and trying to kill.
Yeah.
But anyways, so, you know, that just happened yesterday. I feel like someone's trying to bully me, but I'm confident in myself and I know I don't have to pull my package out and show you I'm a man because I know I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to
I
show
always
you.
do.
Yeah, but that's just because you're drunk.
Yeah.
You're like,
That's
I'm a
another reason
man.
I don't like drinking.
I'm a
because,
man.
Yeah, you're not going to. Yeah.
So Carrie actually, she ended up putting on here one of the quotes I live by. Do no harm, but take no shit. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean I think bullying is
Tread softly,
necessary.
but carry a big stick.
Yeah.
But what happens when you become a person? Like, I know that in a few years, once I'm on TV, I'm famous, there's probably going to be loads of people that want to try to fight me, want to try to prove they're a man. So I can't just hit everyone for running their mouth. And that's another reason I don't come to places like bars. I don't go to bars because people want to fight, people get drunk, they don't care. And I have a life and I got kids at home. I'm not going to be out here fighting people, hurting people, and risking my future and my freedom all because someone wants to flap their lips. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. So
Do you feel like that you would, at this stage in your life, do you feel like you're a target because you are a fighter?
yes,
That people always want to try to
absolutely.
call you out and stuff?
Absolutely. You think you're tough because you're a fighter? I'll show you. Yes, absolutely. So I have to keep that in mind
You ever
everywhere
want
I
to spar,
go.
man? Let me know.
Yeah, we can do anytime. You know, I love sparring.
No, like I'm
pretty
dead
good.
serious too. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it does. I don't care that you're smaller than me. I mean,
Right.
you're trained in certain martial arts. I'm trained in one. Like, I think it'd be fun. I haven't gotten a little raffle in a minute.
Right.
Like, you
yeah,
know.
sparring is very fun. That's why a lot of people only spar in the dojo and don't want to do a lot of drilling because it's the most fun part is sparring.
Oh, yeah.
When I used to train
Like-
guys, the sparring was a reward for a week.
Exactly.
A week of hard
Exactly.
work. Once you
I gotta
did
give
your
you fist bump for
drills,
that, 'cause
once you
that's-
did your drills, one day out of the week, all right, we're sparring. What?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, a
we
good
drill
friend
the
of
rest
mine,
the
he's
time.
trained in Aikido. I'm trained in Jeet Kune Do. So, like, he's my favorite person to spar because it's complete opposites.
Right.
You know, one's using everything, you know, be like water. The other one's using you against you. Like, it's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Jeet
Like,
Kune Do is fascinating. Yeah, it's a really good art, especially for close quarters combat. But even for long range too. Jeet Kune Do, that's what people don't understand about Jeet Kune Do. It's not one style. It's taking all the styles and making it your own and doing what you can do with it. It's not just, this is the way it's done. No, you can't drop your hands. No, you can't raise them this high. No, you can't shoot for the double. You can't. No,
Right.
Jeet Kune Do is
I
the
got
style
you.
with no style. You know.
I got you.
Not everyone else knows, but
I think
you know.
I think Jeet Kune Do was the precursor to MMA. I think
Oh,
because
I,
of Jeet Kune Do,
arguably, it's the
Yeah.
grandfather of it.
Right.
Yeah, I think
You know.
so. So, fellas, what's up? Oi, oi.
Hey, buddy.
So, have you ever had a bully situation?
Yeah.
You have?
Absolutely, yeah.
And how did you handle it?
Talk my way out of it. Like,
Okay.
I mean, not to say that I don't get heated. Like, I'll get heated, but whenever I start running my mouth, I'm going to like, you know what I
you're
mean?
pretty good.
Pretty
You gotta
sharp.
Stop messing with the music.
You got a sharp tongue. But no,
I said fucking stop. Yeah,
the reason I learned-
I was
the reason
not.
I-
You know what I mean?
the reason I learned to
I
fight,
get mad.
I actually learned to fight in the Navy, but the reason I learned to fight is I'd been in fights when I was younger, and I didn't do very well. I'd fought. My first fight ever was in 6th grade, like an actual fight, and that one was just didn't last very long. 7th grade I had a really good fight, and I actually did well in that fight. But then I didn't feel like I was brave enough.
Right.
Like I was fighting out of fear.
Right.
And I got tired of fighting out of fear, so I'm like, okay, well, if I learn to fight, if I actually learn how to handle myself, I'm not so fearful. So now, this is what I used to tell my sons and I tell my daughters, I'm not fearful of any man, any individual man. Like a person does not give me fear.
Right.
the actions, and I'm aware of the person themselves and what can happen, but I've been knocked unconscious. I've been kicked and punched and kneed. So I've had all that happen. It's not that I want it to happen, but I've been there before.
Right.
So I think when it comes to bullies, you had a good point, and I think in general is you have to, the perception of what happens during the bullying is controlled by you.
Right.
So if you don't allow it to be a bully situation, then it's not.
Well, this is what I want to say to the viewers. If you're in a situation where someone's trying to fight you and you don't want to fight, never feel like a coward because you don't want to fight. Even if you're scared, this is the thing, you should be scared of a fight. You can die. It's as simple as that, even by accident. Okay, I've seen two people that don't know anything about fighting grab and hold each other, they're tussling, and then they go to the ground and someone reaches in, which if you do judo, you know you never reach for the ground, and their arm just snaps right in half. You should be scared of a fight. If you are smart, if you have a brain, you know that we are very fragile. Our organs are very easy to get to. They're right here in the front. We're not like carnivores where they're on the bottom and we have these teeth in the front that in a strong jaw to attack. No, we are very fragile. So you should be scared of a fight. Don't feel like you're a coward because you don't want to fight, you shouldn't want to fight. And the best fighters on this planet will do everything in their power to avoid a fight. So no one should feel like I'm a coward because I don't want to fight. You shouldn't want to fight. It's as simple as that. Only dumb brutes want to fight, or people that enjoy it and want to test their skills against other fighters or martial artists. So don't feel like you're a coward or less of a man or a woman because you don't want to fight. You shouldn't want to fight. It's as simple as that.
There you go.
This is coming from a fighter.
There you go. Good lesson. All right, so you're watching Session Stream live from Shakers Bar downtown Cape. We do this every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. We will be here next week. It's the day after Christmas, but we will be here. Just to let you know a few happenings. Christmas Eve, we will be open, and we'll be open on Christmas actually, and we'll have we'll be doing karaoke. So I've got Caitlin doing karaoke on Christmas Day, and I'll be down here. So we will be open for Christmas if you want to have a drink. So it'll be a good place for you to come down. So we are here with got Willie and Zach and Cody here, and I'll probably try to get Matt back next week. I guess Matt took a little time off and tried to get him back on and had a miscommunication. But Zach, Carl. No? Okay. So, Dawn! So, we're going to move on to our next thing. We're at about 9 o'clock, so it's about time to get into some of our topics. So, I don't think any of us at this table know enough about veganism to talk about it.
Au contraire.
Oh, contraire.
You do know something about veganism?
I was a chef at a vegan restaurant in Denver.
And I guarantee you know more than you think you know about it.
So, first of all, being a vegan is not the same as being a vegetarian.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that's clear. Vegan is its own category, and so is vegetarian, and there are different levels of vegetarianism, and there's different levels.
Yes.
Okay, so why I wanted to bring this out is we are in the season of eating and enjoying ourselves, and Willie is really keen and in tune with overall body health and what you put in your body. You have your own podcast. You're also on Facebook, and you post about your training sessions and what you're eating and what you're doing. So it's a great outlet for people. So I think this is a great way for you to share it with several people that maybe not hear it. But when your food can be life or it can be death. And I know for a fact of being thin and being fat and being everything in between, that what we put in our bodies directly results in how we live our lives.
Yes.
It affects our sleep, it affects our waking hours, it affects how we deal with each other interpersonally, how we deal with our children, just in general, our mood, our mental health. Eating has a lot to do with that, and sometimes we eat to make ourselves feel better. Mm-hmm. Being a vegan or a vegetarian or choosing an alternative lifestyle for eating is a big choice. And it's something that people have to go into knowing full well what they're getting into. Right. I think a lot of people go into to try to be a vegan or try to be a vegetarian or to try to eat a low fat or some diet with this preconceived notion that it's going to make them all better.
Right.
And the point is it's a lifestyle, Willie, right?
Yes.
It's something you've decided for yourself, for your longevity and for your life, that this is what I'm going to do. I tried it. I'll be honest. I tried to not eat meat. I tried it for about a month, no meat at all. I was terrible. I couldn't do it. So then I cut out, and this was several years ago, 15, 20 years ago. I don't red meat or pork. I don't eat that. I have subbed up and had pork. I've had bacon a couple times, but I will say overall, I have not had any red meat or pork because I had colon hydrotherapy, and I would recommend that to you, by the way, if you want full health. Colon hydrotherapy is one of the most uncomfortable for a man anyway. Most men, it's uncomfortable, but
No, clear me out.
Yeah, no, I'm going to tell you what it is before you get into it.
Just don't sneeze.
So colon hydrotherapy, I went to St. Louis to Ocean Clinics, and Ocean Clinics, you do 3 sessions in 10 days. They used to be $85 a session. I'm not sure how much they are now, but basically what you do is you go into the office, they do a health checkup on you. You go lay on a comfortable table, they put a sheet over you, you pull your pants down. And they take what they call a speculum or
You spent $85 for that?
each session.
Dude, I got a garden hose,
No,
and for $350,
not the
I
same,
got
brother. Not the same, brother. So they take a speculum, it's about this long, and they insert it into your
anus?
your anus, yeah. So once you're
What? In the
once
butt?
you are able to accept that, which is it's uncomfortable, you have to take a deep breath and you kind of like. But when I was a kid, I had to use suppositories. I don't know if you guys know what those are.
Yeah.
But I couldn't take pills because I got pneumonia all the time, so I had to take suppositories. So I was familiar with that.
But this was when you were 45, yeah?
46.
Oh, okay.
But so they put that in your anus, and then basically what happens is you're laying on your side and you're facing this tank with this tube, and she's holding on to the end of it, not up against you, but just keeping it safe. And
I'm not mature enough for this.
they flush you out, and basically what it is, it's a very, very
Thorough.
controlled, thorough enema. But it goes all the way into your colon, and your colon is 6 feet long. It's like a big accordion, so it sits in your body like curved like this.
I'm the
and it's
size
got
of your colon.
all of these. Yeah, you are, but it's all folded up, so it's all like this in your body, and it's got all these little folds. If you take the colon out of the body and stretch it out, it's 6 feet long.
Intestines and the intestines are even longer.
Yeah, and so what happens in the colon is in the folds of the colon, throughout our lives, whatever we eat, meat, specifically red meat, cooked red meat. If we eat it raw, it's different. Cooked red meat sits in your colon for up to 5 years.
Yep, even it can sit there even longer. And
Right.
People don't realize that.
And that's what causes flatulence. It causes colon cancer. It causes all kinds of stuff. So I tell you this because as I'm laying on my side watching the tank, you can see everything that's coming out.
Yep.
And
Nice.
the first session I got, I'm not joking, bushes and trees is what it looked like. It looked like small bushes and trees coming out of my body. And I asked the lady, I said, I was like, I
Put a
stopped.
whole new meaning to shit in the law.
Yeah, shit. I said, whoa. It was said to her, she kind of giggled. I'm like, is that normal? And she said, yes, that's very normal. That's stuff that's been in you for years.
So you did 3 sessions.
3 sessions.
I bet you felt like a new person.
The first time I came out, my wife knows all about this. First time I came out, I walked outside. It was sunny outside. Everything was brighter. Mm-hmm. I could smell weird smells that I couldn't smell before. My taste buds were on fire. Everything was firing. Yeah, I know, it's funny. But, dude, I'm telling you, it was like a drug, man. It was like being on that Limitless pill for a minute. Because I was like...
Oh, you've had Adderall?
But it was...
Yeah, if only it was that good.
It was amazing how you felt. I lost 10 pounds immediately.
Yeah.
And then you go back to finish it off because that's how you catch everything. It starts to move around. You get it. But the reason I bring this up is 2 things can make you much healthier: gut health and mental health.
Yes.
If you can get those 2 things lined out, your blood pressure, your all the things that's wrong with your heart, a lot of that stuff will take care of itself if your body's functioning properly.
Yes.
So the reason I bring that up is because what you're going to be talking about is a lifestyle choice, but it also has allowed you to be in fantastic shape. It keeps you on top of your game because you're one of these guys as a fighter. You stay in shape. You're in the gym. You don't.
Day.
There's no off time for you.
Nope.
You don't. There's no raging bull where you gain 40 pounds and
Hell
eating
no.
sandwiches. You're on the path at all times, and Nathan Stearns is a lot like that too. Although he has his diet's his diet kind of sucks.
Not even close.
He's just blessed with good genetics, I guess.
Yeah, and he's still young too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but as far as the diet goes, and I'm not talking crap, and he was stand there and say the same thing. he's not on the same level as me, not even close.
No, not as you.
He still has, and I still have a long way to go too. But he is like where I was maybe probably like 4 years ago or so.
Yeah.
He's still I got a sweet tooth. He's got sweet teeth.
Yeah, he's bad.
You know,
he loves ice cream.
And if you follow Nathan, which on Facebook and stuff, which I do, you'll know. You know?
He does. He'll show it too. Go, great fight. Time to enjoy myself.
Yeah, he just
shows
got drunk the other night and then woke up and rode his bike from Cape Girardeau all the way to Perryville, which is like 35 miles.
And then drilled with Morrison.
Then drove his bike and then rode his bike back.
Yeah.
Dude, that's 60.
He was punishing himself.
That's 60 plus miles. And what he don't understand is it's not good. Just like these fighters cutting weight for fights, you're like, you think that they're in great shape and they're phenomenal, athletes and stuff, but really they're hurting themselves just as much as the person, maybe not just as much, there's levels, but as a person that's maybe eating McDonald's every day because you're putting your body through this stress that is not supposed to be put through, and so it's just crazy. But
so tell us about vegan. Tell us about veganism. First of all, tell us what it is. And then tell us what kind of diet you have.
I'm still learning too, because every time you learn something, you meet another person or you read some more facts and you realize, oh, it goes deeper. It goes deeper. Just like when you get inside your girl and you think, I'm deep. It goes deeper. So always keep under consideration. The things that pop up in my head.
There's more there.
So, I'm giving her all she's got.
Yeah. So anyways, so vegan is, so you got all different titles. You got veganism.
Sorry, Will, you got me laughing over here.
Vegetarian, you got pescatarian, you got, all these different things. So a vegan doesn't mean that a vegan is not just your diet. A vegan is your whole lifestyle in terms of not using anything that is tested on animals, any type of animal products or animal byproducts. So if you wear leather, you're not a vegan.
Hear about these guys that made the cactus leather? Pretty awesome, dude. Check it out.
I haven't.
Cactus leather?
Cactus leather. They're making leather out of cactuses now. It's pretty cool.
So
check it out, man.
So
really
cool. the cactus itself, they're taking it.
That's
really?
Cool.
Wow.
And so also a lot of these plants that are sprayed with pesticides, well, the pesticides, they use animal products and animal byproducts for those. So you're eating a tomato and think you're a vegan. You're still not, apparently, but that's going as deep as it can go. So basically,
it's even the argument of like honey versus olive.
Right.
Yeah.
So like a vegetarian is someone that doesn't eat any meat. Okay. And this is another thing. Some people say that fish is not meat, which is
it's
literally
meat.
retarded.
It's
it is the flesh of an animal, which is meat. Okay. Any animal that has flesh, that is meat.
Right.
So a vegetarian doesn't eat meat, and some people, it's different. Some people will say, well, a vegetarian can still eat fish, or a vegetarian can still eat eggs, or they can still eat, or they can still drink milk, But I'll tell you, I consider myself a vegan, and I don't eat any meat. I don't drink any milk, anything that comes from an animal's body or is an animal's body.
What do you do for your protein?
Okay, so
beans.
So for protein, literally
tempeh,
everything.
Tofu.
Everything.
Everything.
Tempeh and tofu, that's processed crap that I will eat from time to time, but I don't recommend that to people for protein. So if
when you
want,
say everything, what do you mean?
So for starters, like going from top to bottom in terms of protein per carb, I'd start with like spinach, and then like broccoli, kale, beans, and then certain grains like quinoa, and then you got legumes as well, and then like flax seeds, lentils, chia seeds. But the thing is, people don't realize, and people need to understand this, you don't have to focus on protein. You need to focus on all the vitamins and minerals, because protein is in everything. And unless you are eating Oreos and potato chips, which as long as there's no cheese coated on it, and you're eating like regular Oreos, those are both vegan. So just because you're a vegan does not mean you're healthy either. You need to be eating real whole foods, real plants, not freaking potatoes and all this processed stuff.
So let me ask you this. What is your opinion on a guy like, and you know this, I watch Joe Rogan, I follow Joe Rogan quite a bit, and Joe Rogan
he's got lots to learn.
Well, he does, but let me just ask you, because his stance on this is, and there's been some studies and some medical backup on this, but what do you think about when he says that you need certain kind of meats in your
Hell
diet?
no. First of all, meat, like you just said, meat can be stuck in your body for, you said 5 years, but in reality, meat can get stuck in your body for forever.
Well, that's just so to be clear, red meat is the one. If you cook, if you eat something well done, our body doesn't process it properly.
Right.
Okay.
Or even raw.
Or well, raw's better because it breaks down quicker because of our enzymes in our body.
But the thing is, so we do not
more
have
likely
the
to get
intestines of a carnivore.
No.
You know, we do not. We don't have the proper acids to really break down meat, which is why it can get clogged up and it's so easily. And the thing is, people don't understand your bowel transit time is what is most important for your stomach. Meaning, when you eat something, it should be coming at you within a certain amount of time, which is minutes to hours.
I hope my wife is watching.
Okay. The thing is,
because I'm healthy like 5-6 times a day, I'm in there.
life. When it comes to your health, it is all about the proper circulation. Okay. Mm-hmm. How fast your food is circulating, how fast your oxygen is circulating, how well your lymph is circulating, and if you have poor circulation, like if your blood, what happens when your blood stops circulating? That's a clot, right? That's a heart attack. Mm-hmm. So by eating, greasy foods, grease is the number one thing that people need to really stay away from. Before, like if you're a meat eater, I recommend you stop frying your food first. That's the first thing you need to do. Don't focus on trying to cut meat out first. Focus on only baking your meat and not dipping it in that fucking grease, because that grease is what's going to give you a heart attack 100%. That is like the worst way to eat your meat. You gotta focus on no grease.
But if you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding.
It's a song.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
You can't? You haven't heard that?
No,
Pink
I haven't.
Floyd. It's Pink Floyd.
song.
So,
we do a lot of song references. So here's my other question. So in life, there's always exceptions to the rule, and you'll agree with that, right?
Yes.
That sometimes things that
Nothing's
we think.
perfect.
Okay. So there are people that have lived to be 90 and 100 years old that swear by eating bacon and drinking whiskey. Those kind of people, they swear by it. So
Okay.
what do you say to people like that that say,
this is what I have
hey,
to
here's
say.
what I've done? But here's my thing, Willie, is you're proving that this lifestyle works for you, right?
Right.
But does that lifestyle work for him? Is what I mean. Like, that's the thing about it is I don't know that every person can be a vegan.
Everyone has a species-specific diet. And
Okay.
this is the fact of the matter is everyone is supposed to be on a plant-based diet, which you should be eating not at least 90% of plants and then maybe 10% of meat.
Is it plant-based or is it raw-based diet?
So plant-based. Raw means you don't cook.
Right.
Just like you have a vegan, then you have a raw vegan. A raw vegan will not even stir fry their vegetables. They eat everything raw. They will not heat it up at all.
Okay.
So, and that's, like I said, it goes deeper. That's
So
going
you don't
deeper
eat-
than the vegan.
You don't eat fish.
No fish,
You
no
don't eat
eggs,
any
no
meat at all.
No meat at all. Nothing. No
And you don't
dairy
eat
products.
any animal products.
No, none at all. But
Okay.
but I do use honey. And people will say, "Oh, you're not a vegan," but this is how I feel. The bees make the honey. They're not like, "Oh, let me whip off my leg," and no.
Right,
it's,
you're
it's
not taking apart. You're not talking.
No,
you're
it's not part of the bee.
In fact, that's actually, I would say, that it's part of the best part about nature is that we.
And that got banned?
Yeah, I think he's banned.
Yeah, and so people,
Hey.
people try to say that it's wrong to eat honey.
Is that the guy that's banned?
I think so.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, he's banned.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, you got to run, man. You got to go. Yeah, you can't be in here, bro. He did because we told you already.
Yeah, second time.
So
Is it second or third?
This is 3 now.
Yeah, it's 3.
around here, you only get one. Second time,
Well,
this is
here's
what
the
it
thing.
is.
Look, here's the thing about it is we're very welcoming of everybody in here.
Yeah.
But if you come in here begging from somebody, we understand people need money. We give money to people out here all the time.
This ain't the place.
You come in here and try to get money for people, or you come in here and you start causing problems because you're a knucklehead.
Yeah,
We don't want
forget
you in
about
here.
it.
Yeah. So for anybody that's interested in improving their health, as far as like what they're eating, what is one thing that tell them one thing they could cut out of their diet right now?
Fast food.
All right. So we start with fast food. No fast food.
Fast food.
Because
Just
everything
make
in fast
your food
food is
at home.
okay.
Stop going to McDonald's and all this and that, or or
You got a vendetta on McDonald's.
or just go.
That's the only
yes,
one
I
you've
do.
named. That's the only
Burger
one
King.
you know.
I'm the same way, though.
All the fast food. The thing
No, like I don't eat McDonald's. Like I agree with you.
Or
I don't
if you're
like
eating
it.
fast food, every week, just once a month.
Okay.
The thing is, it's about progression.
Right.
And not allowing yourself to slide all the way back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Making little advances.
Little advances. And then is like what you drink is most important too. It's like, come on, man, drinking soda and sugary drinks all day and acidic drinks, man, that's why people are so sick. And it's, it's kind of, and this is the thing, I stopped drinking soda like.
Pinkies up, motherfucker.
I drink like that too.
Could you grab me
I do that too.
I don't know. It's kind of like
grab me a water.
I don't know why it happens, but yeah.
Bottle water.
It's all about making improvements and not allowing yourself to go back to the old bad habits.
Right. So if we talk about a diet, we're not talking about kind of a diet. We're talking about a lifestyle.
Right.
So when we talk about a good diet to be on, it's a lifestyle change. And what Willie's talking about, what I'm talking about is what I did. When I went to all organic and all, I tried to not cook as much as possible. I only ate fish, but I was eating fish. But I will say this to anybody that's out there: this is that time of the year when we all kind of let go and have whatever we want. But the key in health, the key with any change of life, is one step at a time.
Yes.
If you don't overwhelm yourself, and this is what I think diets have a problem with, like Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and all these other ones. I think they leave out the human element, because we are naturally going to make mistakes. We're humans. So, but what happens with Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and these, they put you on this eat our food, right?
Yeah.
And it's all processed crap.
Which is silly. So so my fiance and I, we do have a meal prepping business. We prep meals for people.
See, I was going to ask you about that too.
People ask us when they message us, they ask like what type of foods do you come with it, and we tell them it's all, we don't do anything with meat. We do all plants, and we will find the plants that you like the most and use those, and then we'll slowly incorporate other plants as well. And so one of our clients, he's lost about 30 pounds in the last, I would say maybe 3 months or so. And dude, that is huge.
How do you clean your vegetables? What do you clean them?
Just rinse them.
You just rinse them?
Yeah, just rinse them with water.
No, are you concerned about tap water?
We rinse with tap water, but I do not drink tap water. No.
Okay.
I buy a bottle of water.
But you're cooking the vegetables, right? After you rinse them, you're cooking them.
Sometimes, not always, but if I'm making a salad, I might warm up, I might saute my mushrooms or something, but we don't always cook the vegetables.
Okay, all right.
But if we do, we even still we cook with bottled water too.
Yeah. So the reason I ask that is because I know one of my big things is I don't drink. Now I'm going to drink a bottle of water here because I'm thirsty, but I don't drink anything but I try to drink spring water as much as possible, and distilled is actually the best. Do you drink distilled water?
Your daughter says hi.
And hi, what's up? What's her name?
Taylor.
What's up, Taylor?
Did you say what's your daughter's name?
Who?
I literally said your daughter said hi.
You said,
just had to
name?
ask me your daughter's name.
No, that's Oh, hey Willie, that's my son. See, he says that's his mom's Facebook. He said that's my dad, and then he put his name Willie and then the 4 because he's the 4th. I thought you said my daughter. He's 9.
Oh, we gotta.
Yeah.
We gotta put a PG on it now.
I cursed in front of my son.
Oh, you do?
Dude, they curse on the radio.
It's our first 9-year-old. It's our first.
I give you one a year. You used it on the senator.
No one's perfect. So
we had a senator on here, an actual senator.
Really?
Yeah, and actually she's a representative.
She's a representative.
And she's running for Senate, Holly Rader. But it's funny. I told him before they came on.
Thanks, dude.
I told him.
That's messed up.
No, isn't it?
That's how bad he doesn't want you to be healthy.
I know. Anyway,
we're on here trying to promote. God dang.
So Holly Rader comes on. So I tell them before they come in. I said, listen, she is a sitting representative. She's in politics, and which is funny too because how nasty politics are. We were worried, but we wanted to be proper. So the whole show, we were like, we didn't cuss.
It was the hardest show ever.
Yeah, we didn't cuss. We didn't make a lot of sexual. It was all pretty much straight up hee. And So we're, and this show's unedited. We joke and we cuss and we do all that stuff. I try not to cuss though.
I pick it up where you let it out.
Yeah, I do. You won't hear me I'll say ass and damn, but I seldom will I say anything else.
Water.
Oh, I drop the F-bomb all the time. So.
Cody, what an ass, Cody.
Yeah. So when I was.
Did you see my face? I was like. Are you kidding me?
When I was 19, that's when I realized, I was 19. I'm supposed to be a man, right? And I'm supposed to, but I'm 19. I'm like, why am I not drinking water? I'm like, the body is like 90-something% water. Right. So if I'm not putting water in it every day, how am I supposed to stay alive?
Yeah.
When I sweat and all this stuff. So your body has to take soda and has to do all this complicated stuff to pull the water out and disperse it where it needs to go. So it's like, when you wake up, the first thing you need to put in your body is what?
Water.
Well, oxygen. So that's the first fuel, is oxygen.
Yeah, no.
And then it's
Cigarettes.
water. Yeah,
it's cigarettes and a whiskey swish.
So, water is the first thing. And so I stopped drinking soda
I have
and all
actually
that
tried
crap
to
and
get more water in my life because it does help
You drink
a
a
lot.
shitload of water.
I do, dude. I pound water.
that's
You
good.
drink out of that thing you leave in here all the time.
Constantly, and that's helped me drink water more than anything else ever has. Just having
But
it with me
speaking
all
of
the time.
that, I used to have reflux disease. I was diagnosed with it, and you get it all up
Acid
in
reflux?
Yeah, it was terrible, man.
really
and
bad.
you know what and this is what I told Zach. I've told people this. I cured myself from it, and the reason is the body has a pH balance, right? And
Yes.
You talk about alkaline water.
So that's what I was going to mention with the meat too,
Yeah.
and the sugary drinks and all that stuff. Your body needs to be alkaline. When your body's in an alkaline state, you can repair yourself. You can.
Right.
Look, I truly believe that no matter what disease you have or what mental or physical illness you have, your body can heal itself. Our body is a healing machine if you give it the right fuel. Right. I don't care what you have. I don't care if you have cancer. I don't care, what it is. Your body can heal itself if you give it the right things. And Dr. Sebi, may he rest in peace, is a man that proved that by healing, hundreds of people that had AIDS, and he's cured blindness, he's cured sickle cell anemia, he's all these crazy things that I can't even pronounce.
Right.
And he showed that your body can heal itself if you know how to take care of it and
So
do the right things.
So I was diagnosed with that, and they put me on all these antacids, right? Yeah. Prevacid and Prilosec and all these other ones. And I did some research on this, and I found out that there's two ways you get heartburn and acid reflux. You have not enough acid or too much acid.
Yes.
So what happens is when you don't drink enough water, which helps, water has alkaline, it helps balance you.
Yeah, that's what water I drink, alkaline
Right,
water.
your body is like a battery. And if you keep water in it, fluidity, it uses that water for that electrical synthesis that it has. And so I found out by reading this is all real deep stuff, but I'm telling you,
Yes, it is.
in your diet, the one thing that I'd say to people, and like you're talking about every morning, if you will increase your water intake every day, have an extra glass, have an extra bottle, whatever, try to take in at least a half a gallon a day of water and cut the sodas back, the sugars back, you'll see a noticeable increase in how your skin reacts, how your hair reacts. I mean, look at my hair, it's beautiful.
And then also, one thing that people don't realize is when you start to, eat healthier and drink healthier and exercise and stuff, your body's gonna go through a detox phase. So you may feel like crap.
Yeah.
for
You'll feel sick.
a long time.
You'll feel sick.
Like if you
immediately.
stop drinking sodas just like that, you're gonna get headaches more than likely.
Well, because as it is with drugs, with heroin and any other kind of drug,
Withdrawal.
when you have withdrawal. Anything that your body's become accustomed to, no matter what it is, you can have withdrawals. If you stopped eating the way you eat and decided to eat another way, you'd get sick.
Did you know?
Because your body's preset on something.
So you know how when your stomach gets hungry, you're like, I gotta eat, I'm hungry. You know that's withdrawal?
That is a withdrawal.
It is.
Yeah.
When you're actually hungry, your mouth will start to salivate.
Right.
So when you feel the hunger down here,
Yeah.
it's actually not real hunger. You have bacteria in your stomach that's craving certain foods that probably are the unhealthy foods.
Exactly.
That's why if you drink or if you eat or drink a lot of sugar or you eat a lot of like refined carbs, you're going to always be hungry. You can eat a big juicy steak. Why do you want ice cream now? Why are you still hungry? If you can't satisfy your hunger, that is a very huge problem.
And you know when you talk
I
about,
do have a huge problem with that.
yeah.
Satisfy my
100%.
hunger.
Yeah.
I eat insanely big meals, and
Yeah.
and it's also one of those things where another thing that helped me start losing weight, which I've lost like 30 pounds in the past 2 months.
Yeah. Sweet.
Something that you need to know.
Well,
Something that you
usually
need to start
be a
Man,
lot
I'm
bigger
Missouri.
though.
Yeah.
Well, I used to be a lot smaller. I weighed 140 pounds through my whole 20s.
Yeah, but then you got up to like
I got to 240. Now I'm back down. I'm about 210 right now.
Yeah.
But thanks.
Yeah.
But no, it's eating past the comfortability of being full. So once you stop getting to the point where you're like, I'm kind of full, but fuck, I've only got this much left, I might as well eat it. Once you stop doing that, dude, I found that has helped me lose weight more than anything else.
I have a huge problem with that too, bro. Just the way my woman gets down in the kitchen, bro.
Right.
Like,
it's good. It tastes good. You don't want to stop eating it.
I
get it.
Stop. I'm like, come on, man. I eat
You should
way
see the
too
way
much.
my guy gets down in the kitchen. Man, he stuffed them shells like, bro.
I do. I'm a pretty fucking good cook. No, dude, I went over to Zach's house and cooked some food, and it was fire.
What was funny though, Zach we'll be talking about something, but Zach will go, pink unicorns, and I'll go, what are you talking about? And he goes, and then Cody immediately go, yeah, pink unicorns, and I'm like,
hold up,
what the hell? Oh god!
Watch out!
What is it? Is it fireball? Is it fireball? Fireball.
It's a ball gag unicorn.
That's really cool.
Ball gag.
I'm so proud of it.
You always do something freaky.
I'm so proud of it.
All right, so we got just over half an hour. I want to make sure we talk about sex trafficking and child abduction and all that because it's super important, especially this time of year with the holidays.
Yes.
Get really super busy.
Everyone's traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So
how'd your kids?
So I'm going to tell a little story. I'm going to tell a little quick story about a child sex trafficking actual case, and then we're going to get into what you know and kind of what we've talked about. But child sex trafficking, I'm going to actually refers to the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting of a minor for the purpose of a commercial sex act. And commercial sex act is very important because they get sold in and then they get put online and all these other places. So let's talk about it. The story goes like this. I believe this was in on the East Coast. I think it was in Connecticut. I'm not sure which town. It's not important, but husband and wife have a small child. I think the child was about 3 or 4 years old. And they'd gone shopping, and while they were shopping, and it was during the holidays, so this is a very timely story. They'd gone shopping. They, as children do when you go shopping, they get antsy and get grumpy, and so the mom is holding the child, and they're shopping. The mom sets the child down on her feet. The child can walk. In the hubbub and all the shopping, fervor that's going on, the child happens to kind of take a few steps away.
Right.
And they watched all this back on the camera and they saw it happen. What they didn't know was when they pulled in the parking lot, there were 2 people sitting in a car. And in the parking lot, these 2 people sitting in a car were watching for their target. And so they looked and they saw this family get out, and here's this child. And unfortunately, they looked for certain types of children too because they're more popular. And they said, okay, that's our child that we want to get. So they basically, what they do is it looks like a normal couple. It's a guy and a girl or 2 girls shopping. And they follow the couple in, and they'll follow them around the whole store and watch them for a while. They'll watch their habits. How much do they watch their kid? Are they, are they busy fighting with each other? Are they busy staying, So that's what happened. And they watched it on camera. They watched it all happen. They watched the couple go into the store, and they watched the 2 people go in behind them. And then everywhere this couple went, this other people were not far behind. And they would stay back, like 1 aisle back, and they'd just constantly be in the vicinity. And when this child got abducted, it was literally split second. The child, the mother and dad were talking to each other just like this. The child was right there. And the child leaned kind of around the corner to grab something, and next thing you know, you see the child gone. And so what happens is when the child's gone, the child immediately, of course, doesn't really know what's going on. So child kind of looks around. Well, they're already going towards the door. And if the child starts acting up, they think it's just an angry, a child just throwing a fit.
Yeah.
So nobody really pays attention. Well, what happens is they get to the car, and then they drive off. And then, of course, the cameras, they don't see them. So what ends up happening, they end up getting their kid back. But what happened was this couple, these abductors, went to a safe house, or their safe house. They go online, they take pictures of the child, post the pictures online, and put them up for bidding.
On like a black market.
Right. Well, actually, sadly enough, this was on an adoption site. It was on an adoption.
You're joking, right? Or some people actually, you're joking, right?
What?
No, I mean, it's been done on Craigslist too.
Really?
Yes, that's what I was about to tell
I'm
you.
not surprised. That's why I asked.
That's what I was about to tell you.
I say stuff and my face is always blank.
Yeah, he's got a real dry sense. But no, it's true. Craigslist is one of them. That used to be bad. It's not as bad anymore. And now they have adoption websites that are actually child abduction websites. and they're disguised as adoption websites. But you can go on there if you're someone who wants a child. Now, sometimes people just want a child. They want to have a child, and they can't have a child. But often it's for nefarious reasons.
Right.
Well, nefarious is bad enough with kidnapping. So in other words, what happens is they go and they take a picture of this kid. The kid goes up for bidding online, and somebody puts a purchase in for the kid. Well, someone that was in law enforcement happened to be on the website and be watching stuff and saw the picture of the kid and knew the people and said and called. So
lucky.
Yeah, they got really lucky. And so they called. They were frantic. They were still. This happened really quick too. They had just left the store. They were going to the police department, and the police had come to the store and they'd looked at the cameras, and they were home maybe an hour and got a call from this guy and said, "Hey, I just saw your kid." So this guy with the highway patrol went on and bid on the child and got the child.
Oh wow!
So when they showed up to meet with the child,
yeah.
When they showed up to meet with the child, they got the child back. Nothing had happened to the child, but the reason I want to talk about this, and you posted something on Facebook about it, I want to talk about this because it can happen to anyone. And the minute you think it's not you, it will be. Yep. So I will tell you that when I'm in the store, my daughters are 10, and they will not be quiet if somebody grabs them, but there are ways that people, they practice this stuff.
So like my fiance was just telling me about this the other day. They have this, everyone knows what chloroform is, but they got this chloroform, bro, that will really knock you out like that.
Right.
Especially a child.
Yeah.
They put it around the child's face, out. And now they're carrying it, now they're just carrying your child like this. Just looks like a parent carrying their child right up out of the store or wherever they're at. And then I've even seen, I'm sure y'all have seen these videos where they snatch the child from the mother's hands. Like they'll have the kid like that, and they'll snatch the kid and take off running. And sometimes the mother gets the kid back, sometimes they don't. Now also, there are times where they snatch the mother and the child.
Right.
So it's like...
Well, that's the new one. The mother and the child is the new one that I read about. That's the new thing because now they're not one to battle with them, so now they're just taking them both.
Well, they're doing so much, like they're tricking people. They're using, like they'll use a child. Help me, I'm lost. Where's my mommy? They'll use children. They'll use women. Oh, can you help me? I'm like, bro, they are slick. They're tricksters, man. They trick you to get you just right around the corner or right out of eyes. And they even do it on camera, bro. It's to the point that they don't care. They just snatch people up.
Right.
And it's getting so dangerous everywhere you go now.
So here's what I want to offer as we're talking about this. We're going to talk more about it, but I want to send out kind of a notice to parents, right, or guardians of kids. If you have a child with you, you're a parent. You've got nieces and nephews. You've got children. I've got children. So take this as a friendly warning to you. Never think it's not you and that it can't happen. And actually think that it can happen, because if you think that if you think that it's going to and it can, you'll be far more careful. I will tell you that I never go anywhere where I don't know where my daughters are at, where I don't have my eyes on them. And I've told them from the time they were little, if something feels funny to them or somebody's around, let me know. So I have a procedure that I do, and I'm going to say it out loud because it doesn't matter because it's foolproof. Right. When I go to the store with my daughters, I do a very simple thing. We get out of the car, they stand by their doors at their car, and then they come to me. And then we walk, because you don't know what's going to happen in the parking lot. We walk together hand in hand, and I watch. When we go across, I always go first. They stand right behind me, and I'm making sure they don't get hit. We go in the store, they walk right in front of me where I can see them. And so what I look for is, I'm not saying it's foolproof because I'm sure people have done this, but what I look for is, I look for anyone that seems to be paying a little too much attention to my daughters. And you can see this from a distance. It doesn't take much. You just look for anybody, even children, that happen to be staring in your direction for too long. You can feel
when someone's looking at you or your kids. Like, you can feel it. You understand. We have these senses.
There's normal attention. There's normal, like, hey, I see that, hey, what's up, kind of stuff where you just make kind of eye contact. But then there's where you're kind of drawn into it. And kidnappers and people that are out for nefarious reasons can't help it because that's their target. It's a natural instinct. So what you want to look for is you want to look for anybody. I don't care if it's a store employee. I don't care who it is. When you're in a store, look for someone that seems to be paying a little too much attention to you, or the person that comes up out of nowhere and starts making a conversation with your child.
Right.
I watch for those people a lot. Now,
it doesn't matter who they are.
No,
man, woman,
it doesn't
old,
matter.
Young, kids, because like I said, they're using kids.
Yeah.
They're using kids, and the kids don't even know what's.
No.
They don't know, bro. Like
and a lot of times those kids have been abducted themselves, and they don't know themselves. It's this whole terrible circle, and the thing about it is once it happens, once someone gets abducted, the chances of return are almost nil.
Yes.
And you get caught in this web, and the web is, and a lot of it's overseas, and it's terrible, but I can't imagine one of my daughters and the stories that I've read and talked about. And I went to some classes for this about kidnapping, things like when I was a cop, but basically imagine your child being in a strange place with no one they know, and then they're given drugs to perform.
That's the first thing they do when they kidnap people. They drug them up on like heroin. Yeah. So they're literally just like, they can't do anything. They couldn't escape.
They can't fight back. They can't scream.
They're dependent on it.
Yeah, they're dependent on it.
That as well.
And they get them dependent on a drug, and then they sell this child into sex trafficking or slaving, and this child gets passed around from place to place and bid on like a piece of cattle. And so
So, like, here's one of the statistics that's well known. That human trafficking is a $32 billion business.
Right.
$32 billion. That's the whole reason they're doing this, because people have sick fetishes, and they'll pay loads of money for people, and not just to mutilate them and do things, but they also are doing this for their organs, because they need organs for
So
certain people
as we're
that
talking
have money.
about that, we all know about Jeffrey Epstein. Then you have those type of people that coerce and abduct children for time, just small times, and he was getting children they believed around 12 to 14 years old, some a little older than that, but there were some young children out there on the island, and he took them. Parents, and this is the same thing with Michael Jackson. Parents would send their kids because they think, oh, this is Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire. Oh, he's got an island. He wants to go. So.
Or they know,
and they get paid off.
And they get paid.
Yeah, and that's the terrible thing.
So another thing I wanted to touch on is this too. Don't be afraid to say something, to do something when something doesn't seem right, even when you're in public. Or even like a lot of people that, even when you live in an apartment complex and you hear next door some woman's getting the crap beat out of her, or kids are screaming and don't sound right, don't be afraid to call the police or to even kick someone's door in. Like, I know that people say don't be a hero and we all have families we need to get home to, but you might be the reason that someone is alive. And if not for the heroes, there would be nothing but villains and nothing but evil people doing these things. And so a lot of this is happening by the family members. You have fathers and uncles and even mothers and aunts and grandmothers and grandparents. They are sexually assaulting the kids and abusing the kids. And if you can tell that kid that you can tell when a kid's not right. Like when there's something wrong, like something's happening to this kid because they're not acting like a normal kid. You need to ask questions. I don't care if you're in Walmart and you can tell something's happening to the kid. Don't be afraid to ask them, hey man, why is your kid acting like that? Ask the kid, are you okay? Or does he hurt you? What's going on? I mean, like, if someone asks, like, okay, I had a woman, when my son was like 3, one time in Chaffee, I was at the gas station, I ran inside, this was still when I still smoked, I ran inside to grab a cigar. And I left my son in the car. This is back when I was stupid enough to do something like that as well. Yeah. And even though, I know I'm going to keep my eye on my son, and if someone tries to even approach my car, I'm going to be running after them. But even still, so a lady came up to me, she said, you just left your son in the car. A baby can suffocate after this amount of seconds. I said, well, first of all, it's 3, and whatever. But she's like, do I need to look you up or this and that? I was like, no, here's my information. And I gave her my information because, she's going to call people. They're going to come to my house and look. I'm like, I'm not mistreating my son. Mm-hmm. But then after that, I stopped doing that. And then I realized I shouldn't do that because someone will run up, jump in my car and take off. And if I can't it doesn't matter if I call the police, he's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They get away fast enough, he's gone. So you have to really watch your kids and don't be afraid to confront someone that looks like they're not, and even you don't have to be rude about it. What if they aren't aware of this? People aren't aware, bro. We're in a dangerous world. Mm-hmm. People don't understand someone will snatch your kid up just like that. So
So a little stat here for you. Sex traffickers target children in foster care and group homes a lot. Children that don't have guidance. These children are more vulnerable to exploitation because of the trauma they have experienced and the lack of a permanent, stable home. It is estimated that up to 40.3 million people around the world are being trafficked. 40.3
No one goes looking
million.
for a foster kid.
Yeah.
No one cares enough.
Well, and you're speaking from personal experience. He was in foster care for years. I think this brings to
Yeah, I can see that.
it brings to mind to let people know that it doesn't matter. You could be in a loving family. You could be in foster care. The point of the matter is they take advantage of situations. They take advantage of
Opportunities.
Opportunities. Yeah, they're criminals of opportunity. So what we want to make it's an amazing number. 40.3 million are being sex trafficked. So it's not just children. And so I want to talk now a little bit about, and it's horrendous and terrible for kids, but we want to talk a little bit now about the large amount of adult females that are sex trafficked. And I think what was interesting is actually Wes Langston, the photographer.
Yeah.
He actually used the bar. He was shooting a little bit of a film for something about sex trafficking, and it was two college girls. And basically what it was is they were in here and they were supposed to be having a drink, and when one turned their head, somebody dropped something in their drink.
I was going to talk about that too.
Yeah, so being in a bar, it's a perfect setting for this. And we've actually had these conversations with women that come in here, and then guys too, is I'm very cognizant aware as a bar owner, and I'm here, I watch people's drinks.
Hold the drink in your hand.
Never let
Don't
it drink out
sit
your
it
sight.
down.
Yeah, never let a drink out of your sight. And I will tell you this.
Get it from the bartender. I mean, even
so
the bartender can
let's just say
roofie you,
Willie.
but-
Let's just say Willie is in Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
Willie's got his 10, and he's sitting down to read a book. He's getting his little break in the afternoon. Willie happens to set his drink down, and he turns around to grab something over here out of his bag, and he's doing this. It literally takes 1 second for someone to go, bloop, and then they follow Willie outside, and next thing, I mean, obviously, if you were sober, you'd kick somebody in the face, but if you become incapacitated, if you become incapacitated. So I actually saw this. One documentary where they grown men who thought that they could handle themselves, right? They took two guys, and these were big burly guys, and they put them in one guy was in like a restaurant, one guy was in a bar. And they said, okay, we're gonna drug your drink. Now this was a controlled setting,
right,
but they wanted to show how helpless you could be.
Yeah.
So the guy in the bar, they knew what was going to happen. They were told ahead of time, you're going to be drugged. So they watched. So the one guy in the bar, he was being very careful. But as an hour went by, he started talking to people.
So are they supposed to try to not get drugged?
Yeah. So they're told ahead of time, hey, we're going to try to drug you.
Don't let us.
And don't let us. We're going to show you how helpless you can be. And so in the bar, they have it set up to where it's a normal bar, and they start getting his attention. And so he starts talking to his buddy, he starts talking to this person, and literally he's got his hand on his drink like this, and he's talking, and a dude drops it in his glass, and they show the whole thing.
Yeah.
The guy takes a couple big drinks, asks for another drink. Literally 30 minutes later, he starts kind of rubbing his head like this at the bar, and he's, man, I got a headache, and everybody around him kind of starts staring at him. Well, they're actors, they know what's going on. And the one guy that he's been talking to says, man, you feeling okay? And he goes, I don't know. And he goes, hey, let me help you out to your car, man. So his buddy, the guy that he's been talking to, he feels like he knows after 30 minutes. Guy walks outside, and then they end that scene. The guy wakes up with a doctor there and everything. He wakes up and he's like,
What happened? Yeah.
and he looks down and he's got stuff written on him, like tattoos, like ink and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were proving to him what can happen to him when he's knocked out. So the guy in the restaurant, they did it to his food. So he had his drink and everything on the table, and he was eating his food, and he was doing the prison eat. He was eating like this.
Uh-huh.
Like, you got to protect your stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
And while he's in the restaurant, he gets done, and then he thinks, okay, I made it through. So he kind of relaxes, right? Nothing's happened, right? So he kind of sits up, and then the waitress comes up and goes, hey, would you like some dessert? And he's like, what do you have? And she puts a menu. She takes the menu, and behind the menu, drops it in his glass. Behind the menu, drops it in the glass. Puts the menu right here and got him. And so he takes a drink, and he goes, can I have some more tea? And she says, sure. And so fills the tea up. Not only did they do it there, but they did it to his dessert. And she went back to the kitchen. So the question was, how do you know what they're doing to you in the kitchen, with food? Well, most of the time, you don't have to worry about somebody drugging your food. The point is that they got it in the glass. So he gets up, stumbles out of the place, walks out onto the sidewalk, and somebody waiting in a car comes over and goes, "Man, you all right? You all right? Here, come sit down over here." Yep. And he drags him across the street. He wakes up with a doctor there, but in the back of a van, and they've got his hands handcuffed together in front of him, and there's a guy sitting over the top of him monitoring his heart rate, and the guy comes to and he's like, "What happened?" And he goes, "You were just abducted." And both guys swore they could not be got. They both said before the experiment, "You're not going to get me. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to know what's going on." And so the proof, the whole reason they did that is it can happen to anybody.
Even when you're most vigilant, it can still fucking happen.
It can still happen. So the whole point of that is, then somebody says, "Well, then you're never safe." Well, no, you're not.
You're not.
You need to be prepared at all times.
And that's when you're most vigilant. Imagine when you're just out drinking with your friends. So me and my fiance just watched a movie last night, the new movie called Hustlers. And what it was strippers. They were putting ketamine, which is like a tranquilizer, and MDMA in people's drinks, getting them messed up, taking their wallets,
rolling them.
They were taking their credit cards and swiping it, and getting them for everything they owned. And a lot of guys, they weren't like mutilating them or anything like that, but they were getting them that way. But imagine if they wanted to do other things to them, they could easily.
Yeah.
So like this is the thing. Everyone thinks it's not going to happen, or it's unlikely. When it's literally hundreds of millions of people that's happening to you, think that you're that lucky, you might not be.
Yeah.
Your wife might be. We live in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. You think it don't happen here? Oh, it happens.
Yeah, it's happened in the Hobby Lobby parking lot.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, they'd hide underneath your car, slash your Achilles, and bounce you in.
So speaking of that, there was back in the 70s and 80s, and I'm old enough to remember that, you guys aren't, but we're talking about abduction. There was a guy, and he would go up to, when Southeast Hospital used to have a parking lot in back of the hospital, it was a nursing parking lot, and he would lay under their cars, and he would, when they walked up to the car, he would grab their ankles and yank, and they'd fall, and he'd crawl out and bang their head in the floor and throw them in their own car and drive off.
Wow.
And this was, I don't know how many times this happened, but Cape has a history of this stuff. It's happened. It doesn't get talked about a lot because our newspaper is basically tilted, just like our KFES is tilted.
Yeah, just like everyone's talking about. So I just seen a meme on Facebook yesterday that was like, it was like Trump getting impeached, and then it had camera crew, and it said like distraction over the camera crew, and then it had a big elephant behind all of that.
Sex trafficking.
And it said sex trafficking because that's what the media does. It diverts our attention because it's the thing. Some of the most powerful people on earth are the ones that are running these businesses.
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as
that.
Well,
you look at Jeffrey Epstein. It's a prime example. This billionaire guy, investment genius, had all these people in his corner. He was this darling. He was friend with Weinstein. He was friend with the Clintons. He was friend with just all of these people. He owned an island, and people went to the island. And had he been just a normal guy and not a sick bastard, would have probably had a lot of fun. You have a nice island, tennis courts, basketball courts. But he did all of that so he could hide and do the stuff that he was doing.
And it's because he's sick. It's not just for money. They do it because they're sick people.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I saw a thing. I saw the interview with him when he was getting deposition, and one of the girls described his penis as being shaped like a mushroom. Do you have a round-shaped mushroom penis? And he got this smirk, and he kind of took his glasses off, and he got up to leave the room.
So I just hope you don't get stamped.
Don't get stamped, yeah. But the truth of the matter is when it comes to any kind of a kidnapping, abduction, sex trafficking, the people that do it do not care about human life. They don't care if you live or die. They keep you alive for purposes. They keep you alive for a reason. And if once they have either they feel like the reason's it's not gonna be followed through on, or you're no more of any use to them, they'll kill you. And so we're talking about, I gave a stat, 40.3 million people are being trafficked. That's not just for sex. We could talk about people sold into.
That's just in America,
yeah.
too.
Well, Well, that says around the world, but I will say this.
It's more than that. It's actually like 400 million.
Oh, is it?
Yes, I just looked it up.
There is still indentured servitude that goes on.
Yeah.
Where people, and it's big from Africa, and it's big from Brazil, South American countries, where people are looking for a better way of life. And if you are the person with the means to do it, you go to these countries and you advertise, hey, workers needed in the United States. And this is what happens. And then here are these, looking for female workers in the United States to do this and to be nannies and do this. And a lot of times they use nannies because it's child care. And women think, oh, I can do child care. And they end up showing up for an interview and they end up getting drugged and thrown into a shipping container and then shipped wherever. There are people in this country right now, living in someone's house that is there not by their own will, that were sold into indentured servitude, and they're now convinced that they have to stay to work off whatever money they owe.
Right.
And so,
and if they don't, they'll threaten your family, things like that.
Yep.
And what person isn't going to, just stay there so their whole family doesn't get killed?
Right.
And they know that they will kill them.
Well, and then they pay them just enough to give them something, and they send the money back, and then they threaten to cut that off, so the people that are back in a third world country can't get that that $100 a month that they're getting, which is a lot of money for them. And so it's this ongoing circle of being trapped into this mindset. And I think sometimes the worst when you imprison someone's mind, and I think indentured servitude. Yeah. People think that slavery ended.
It did not.
People think slavery ended back, but it's not. It's just different now. It's
more secretive.
It's more secretive, and it's I think it's just as widespread. It's just back when we think what we think of slavery was in your face. It was buy people, sell people, whatever. Now it's let's go and sneaky.
Right.
You can't go on a public square and sell anybody, but you can do it on the internet. And that's where that's the problem is now we have this World Wide Web. Well, now, but we've had it for a while. But we have this web that basically allows us to communicate wherever we want. So if I got a buddy in Russia that's looking for a 16-year-old female brunette, and he's got a guy that's going to pay $10,000
or a guy. And that's another. See, these men we don't think it's going to happen to us, but it can. And what makes you think that? Like, especially someone like me, like, come on, man, who wouldn't want my organs? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're in
they're
good
strong,
shape.
They're healthy.
I want your organs. You're in good shape,
man. I'll pass on them.
You'll pass.
You notice I
picked. You need a lot more.
You noticed I picked your tee up, didn't you?
Bigger heart to pump all that blood.
I picked his tee up. You didn't realize it. How you feeling, Willie?
Got you
get him. Get his kidneys. Get his kidneys.
Yeah, but it can happen.
Well, you remember that
anybody,
a while back? When was that, Cody? They were where they used to drug you and then cut your organs out, and then they leave you in a bathtub of ice.
With ice, yeah.
That was like what 5-10 years ago. It was a huge thing, and they had several incidents that where guys would wake up in hotel rooms, like they go there with a girl, think they were going to get lucky, and they wake up in the bathtub and like they're sewed up, and there's some of them were left with a note. You've had one of your kidneys removed. Do not move.
Nice enough to tell them what they took.
Yeah. Do not move. And call the phone's there. Call 911. And people call and say, "Hey, I don't know what happened, but somebody took my kidney." Could you imagine if you're a 911 operator? I'm sorry, sir. Can you say that again? Someone took my kidney. I'm in a bathtub.
They're probably like, "Oh my God, this is the third one this week."
Yeah, exactly. So be vigilant this time of year because there's a lot of stress out there. There's a lot of things that are going on in the world that
all year.
We surround ourselves.
This is the thing. While everyone's focused on buying, big, nice TVs and cars and all this stuff.
TVs,
like
Willie.
I'm just saying, if you have the money to buy, a $1,000 flat screen or something like that, go ahead. You need to go ahead and invest in some cameras for your house. Like I have cameras on my house. Everyone should kind of have cameras on their house because when people see cameras, for one,
where
they think twice.
Where are the cameras at?
They're in the front and the back, and there's going to be more coming up soon. So stuff like that.
What's your childhood pet's name?
You gotta. I have actually a lion because you can get past a dog. Nobody fucks with the lion.
No, I'm doing all your password security questions.
Nobody fucks with a lion, bro.
You got it.
What was your mother's maiden name?
I am naked. Come on in.
You stole Tyson's lion.
He said, "Is that Tiger?
Bronze, bro." But and then also
scenes.
get a firearm for your house too. If you don't have a firearm,
thank you, Willie.
You definitely should.
We love Second Amendment around here.
Yeah,
we do.
I thought he said fire alarm.
Well, that too.
Well,
I was like,
yeah, you definitely should have
I'm like,
that.
I don't understand how this is relevant.
It should have came with it.
Or hire Willie to sit on your front porch.
I don't think they can pay enough.
Just sit there and stare at people when they walk up to your house. Say, "What are you doing?" "I'm about to rob this place." "Oh, I don't think you are. I'll kick you. I'll kick you in your face."
Shifts.
You seen the bottle
right.
cap challenge? I will kick your nose and make it spin off
straight
your
off,
face.
and you'll be like, you know, that's how. That's
He
how
did
it
a
goes
Michael
down.
Jackson. That's the first Michael Jackson on here. That's awesome. We got Werewolf over here. We got Hot Boy over here. Hot Boy
with an eye.
Yeah, boy. I'm fast, boy.
So yeah, you really got to take a lot of precautionary steps, and then talk. If you have not had this talk with your children, you need to have the talk with your children. Let them know that they need to talk to you about a canary for gas leaks.
Yes.
In the coal
So
mines.
do you know about that?
No.
So back in the day, when there was coal mines were really, really running in this country, they would take canaries down with them in the coal mines.
I think I did hear that somewhere.
Because
saying.
Yeah, well, but they did actually.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
But if you ever do you play video games at all? Okay, there's a video game called Silent Hill.
I think I have played that a long time ago.
Okay, so the movie
based
from
off that movie, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's actually the
No,
movie's
the movie's
based off.
based off the
a
game.
book, right? Okay,
movie's
yeah,
based
it's the
off
other
the
way
game.
around. Right.
Yeah, so the game, in the movie, there's a scene where the Guardians, or the people that are kind of protecting Silent Hill now, the weird world, they carry a canary around in a bird cage with them. And when the canary starts acting weird, they know that it's about to happen. They detect gas, they detect methane, so they freak out when they smell it.
No, they die. When the birds
die?
die. When the
Yeah.
birds
That's where
die.
Bird Box
It is
get
when
that
they die.
from?
No, Bird Box.
The
Did you ever
birds-
see Bird Box?
Oh yeah, it was
good.
It was great.
It was an
Have you
absolute
not seen
horrible
it?
movie.
That's it.
Dude, it was great. Oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Look, I refused to watch it for a while because I was like, what kind of premise is that? And then I watched it and I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. You didn't like it?
Absolutely not.
You didn't?
Movie was complete garbage.
Lying.
No, he's not. He's
Yeah,
being
he is.
truthful.
Oh no, that
He
movie
hate-
sucked.
He hated it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What did you not like about it?
The entire premise, the way it was shot, the script, the dialogue, the acting. I mean, I can go
This
on.
is the guy that
That
freaking
movie
likes
was
Star
garbage.
Wars.
What about when
You
their
like
eyes
Star Wars and you can't
went
buy Bird
all
Box?
white and
Not at all.
So
Come
when their
on,
eyes
man.
went
Star
white,
Wars
you
is
didn't think that was
believable. It's a
cool?
Western.
Star Wars is not believable. It's freaking Death Star. Sorry,
You
Star
don't
Wars.
say that.
I don't say that. But listen,
say
it's
that.
not believable, and Bird Box is not either. But it's more believable than freaking Star Wars.
It's not even on the same level.
You look at a creature and you want to kill yourself. That's freaking scary,
They're both
man.
sci-fi.
That's scary.
Not at
So
all.
the whole premise was ridiculous.
No,
to you.
I think the entire movie was just fucking garbage.
But do you understand that how hard it would be if that was the situation? To
Sure,
live?
no, I get the premise. I'm not obtuse by any means.
I
here.
thought it was
You
pretty
know,
cool and crazy and unique how their eyes changed as soon as they looked at
Yeah.
it. I thought it was pretty freaking awesome.
Well, it's the same way with.
So I'm a cinephile,
I didn't like the
dude.
ending.
I'm
The
like,
ending, I was like, "Are
Yeah.
you effing kidding me?" Yeah, the ending.
Yeah, I know,
didn't
but
so
how do
much
you
like.
how do you end it? You know, like how do you end something
well, it's like
that?
A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place had a fucking garbage ending.
But the movie
The movie was phenomenal.
Did you like the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was
How
about
do
to
you
say.
like that, but not?
Well, he doesn't like the premise where when you look at something you want to kill yourself. He just didn't. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, like the entire movie itself was fucking B-rated at best, and they made it this huge
I
feature.
thought Sandra Bullock acted it pretty
I thought
well.
it was
actually,
good. It was good
I think
quality.
she did pretty well with it, man.
It's not one of the movies where you're watching it and the words not matching.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got a knuckle off her, but like,
I remember with it.
I can't. Oh,
But
that
no.
shit pisses me off.
But it's A Quiet Place. If you haven't seen that one, that's John Krasinski
yes.
and Emily Blunt. And
Which the second one's coming out too. So.
is it?
Oh, A Quiet Place. Yeah,
I
was
watched.
mistaken that with this other
Listen,
movie.
I watched that,
That one,
with skepticism
dude.
too. Even though I love John Krasinski, but that was really good.
That
man.
was great, and the ending with the ear thing, dude. That was.
You
that
didn't
was
like the ending?
Awesome.
You didn't
I
like
did.
the ending where they figure
With
out
the
that
colloquial
noise?
implant? No, not at all.
Oh,
But
I
you
thought
have to
that was
also
really
take
cool.
into consideration that there's going to be another one.
How,
it's
how
not
are
the
they going to
ending,
do
really.
the other one though?
Really, it's not the ending.
Is John Krasinski involved?
John died, remember?
Oh, jeez.
I don't give a fuck. It's me. Come on. How many times have
So
I
is it
dropped
gonna
spoilers?
be
Too
Emily
late,
Blunt?
but
Here's my problem with that is because that was made for was it Amazon or Netflix?
Netflix.
Netflix
No, was it?
Bird Box
Yeah,
was.
it was
Bird Box was.
Bird Box
Quiet
was
Place
Netflix.
Was actual
Yeah,
reality.
that was in theaters.
How are they going to do it with like it's not? I don't know. You're gonna have to do a new family or something.
Yeah.
Where Emily Blunt was just a kid.
And Carrie agrees with me on A Quiet Place, by the way.
It was great.
That the ending was trash? Well, it's because she's your friend. Stop rubbing his back, Carrie.
That's not how it works. I disagree with Zach on
You can rub something else.
Oh, good. Okay, all right. He disagrees with Zach. So, super interesting episode, man. And so whatever you choose to do with yourself as far as your health, you got to be your own advocate. You know, I talked with Zach, and I talked about this. Zach had some teeth issues, and I told him about a lot of stuff. And I'm not a doctor by any means, but I know from the research that I did that teeth infection caused sepsis, and he ended up getting that. And so be your own advocate. Your doctor works for you. So if you go to a medical professional, they do.
I don't care what you got going on with you. I promise you come to me, I can fix you faster than a doctor. I can help you heal yourself faster than a doctor can.
Well, so to be completely honest, you're not a medical doctor.
No, hell no.
You don't want to get sued. He's not a medical doctor, but he offers alternatives to modern
That's why
treatment.
You can't. No, this is the thing. Is in terms of getting sued or being in trouble, no one can say that I have a cure for this, but you can say I can help you figure out how to heal yourself.
Right, and that's yeah.
You don't have to. That's not. You don't have to be a doctor to say that.
Right.
And the thing is, I don't practice medicine. That's the ass backwards way to go about it. A quick fix to figure. There is no quick fixes. There are in terms of using herbs and things, but it's not a quick fix. It's like trying to lose weight or trying to build muscle. It takes time. People don't understand that. And everything, your body is a whole ecosystem that works together. If you got a bum knee, it can mess up. It can give you back problems. You know what I'm saying? It can cause all types of things. Everything works together. You gotta go with the holistic approach to things.
Favorite Christmas movie?
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Who's this Nicholas guy?
Those are my friends.
I love him.
Well, favorite Christmas movie?
Die Hard.
Do you have a Christmas movie you like?
Friday After Next.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
That was a Christmas movie? Oh, After
wasn't
Next.
it?
Never mind. I was thinking next Friday. Never mind.
Friday After Next has Christmas.
That's Christmas.
In it. Yeah. And mine is It's a Wonderful,
Wonderful Life
because I'm a cheesy old guy.
I already knew.
It's just talking about love and hope. That movie sums it up. The guy feels like
What's
his
your favorite
life is
Christmas
gone.
song?
Favorite Christmas song? I don't know, man. There's so many.
Baby, It's Cold Outside.
You rapey bastard.
God damn it,
No,
Zach.
fuck you. I love
do.
that song.
You just love the song because of that it's rapey.
Oh yeah, let's all forget about the English language here.
Yeah. You just like the rapey songs. He's rapey. You're rapey. You have a rapist wit.
Christmas song.
Oh, just gotta grab him by the pussy
Dumb and Dumber.
sometimes.
It's a Dumb and Dumber reference.
Dumb and Dumber.
Got a rapist wit.
I'm out.
All right. Well, that does bring us to the end here, guys. It's been a good 2 hours. Talked about stuff we've never talked about before, which is really cool. And I want to personally thank Willie. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
No, man, I appreciate it. You had great knowledge we can all learn from, and the talk about choice and lifestyle and way you eat is really important for people. So I hope somebody picked up something. And for my guests, Zach and Cody and Willie, I'm Eric, your host. You've been watching Session Stream Live from Shaker's Bar, downtown Cape. Every Thursday, we will not see you before Christmas, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Ramadan, whatever you celebrate. Happy
Christmas,
whatever.
Hanukkah,
What is it?
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
There you go. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Damn it. Quit saying it so good.
Drunken bastard.
Anyway, we're going to let you go. We'll see you next week on Thursday. That'll be our post-Christmas show. Have a great Christmas, and may you find all the love and hope and dreams that you want and share with your family. We'll see you.
Peace.